Chapter 655. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the sixth time. Ding! Congratulations, host. You've obtained a branch of the peach of immortality. After listening to the system's sixth announcement, only then did the rage in Wang Mang's heart subside slightly. At least, this thing was no longer humiliating. Because of this, even if it opened, it was still trash. Wang Mang was no longer as angry. Another minute later, the system's voice sounded for the seventh time. Ding! Congratulations, host. You've obtained 200 million energy points. After listening to the immortal level blind box, Wang Mang was completely dumbfounded. This trashy, immortal level blind box could open 200 million energy points? To be honest, if he wasn't sure that he didn't hear wrongly, Wang Mang even thought that he was hallucinating. Until 2 minutes later, Wang Mang said in disbelief, "This immortal level blind box really opened 200 million energy points? All right, what else could Wang Mang say? He could only say that it was awesome. After all, this trashy thing really opened a good thing once." However, just this one good thing made Wang Mang's anger vanish without a trace. Obviously, Wang Mang was a typical example. People who would smile when there were benefits and curse when there were no benefits. Not bad, not bad. Even if I evolve, I still have 500 million energy points left. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Then, without hesitation, he said, "System, start evolving." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! 5 billion energy points have been successfully deducted. Beginning evolution. Then, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness in the midst of evolution. 3 days later, only then did Wang Mang wake up from his evolution. But after waking up, Wang Mang felt that his strength had become stronger, especially now that he was still wearing the Immortal Emperor mask. He felt that the vast and boundless dermic powers in his body seemed to have become stronger. His entire body was filled with power. Moreover, the vast dermic powers in his body had already turned into mist. They were no longer just in his dantian, but had almost reached his limbs and bones. Is this my power? After slightly clenching his fist, Wang Mang could hear a series of crackling sounds. At the same time, even the surrounding space was slightly distorted. Not only that, Wang Mang also discovered that the Emperor's might around him had become even more terrifying. If it was said that the Emperor's might in the past could only make people feel extremely oppressed and intimidated, but now, the Emperor's aura emanating from Wang Mang's body was an irresistible and despairing pressure. In addition, Wang Mang also discovered that the vast mana around his body had also changed. It had already turned into a light yellow color. One had to know that Wang Mang's mana and immortal chi in the past was definitely not light yellow. On the contrary, it could be black or white. However, it was now a light yellow color. Even his magic power contained traces of Emperor's might. To be honest, Wang Mang discovered that after this evolution, he had indeed undergone an earth-shattering change. However, this change was internal and not external. In addition, his physical strength had also improved. It was just that these were difficult to see on the surface. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. He silently said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." Obviously, Wang Mang wanted to see how much he had changed. In the next moment, personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of the sage-to-be, North City Lord, type, Void Python, limit 700 meters. Realm, 6th heaven of the Immortal Emperor Realm. Physique, HP 16,000, energy 16,000, length 665 meters, width 31 meters, weight 25 million tons. Ordinary divine powers, God controlling seal, hand of the void, blade of the void, void escape, one step to the end of the world, 1,000 changes. Top divine powers, 3 lives supreme Buddha, great mastery. Hong Jun, 3 corpses technique. None, wrath of the demon god, perfection. Space, rank 5 pill recipe x1. One-time top add luck card x1. 1 bottle of oblivion, 1 fallen saint pill. Rank 5 abyss summon card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone x1. Divine Martial Sword, Immortal Emperor Mask. Energy value, 500 million/2 billion. After looking at his personal information, Wang Mang was stunned, because his information page had changed again. It was just that the change was not big. The luck value's information disappeared. This immediately made Wang Mang puzzled. System, why did the luck value disappear? In the next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Warm reminder to the host. When the data is no longer of much use, the system will automatically delete it. Ding! Warm reminder to the host. When some items are completely useless to the host, the system will automatically delete them. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang came to a realization. But after thinking about it, it made sense. This luck value really had no use for him. Rank 5 powerhouses no longer relied on luck, but on strength. Because rank 5 itself was already considered to be in the upper middle class in the myriad worlds. Luck, this thing, basically did not have much of an effect on a tier 5 powerhouse. After understanding the problem, Wang Mang was relieved. Wang Mang slowly stood up and stretched his body. Only then did he walk out of seclusion in a happy mood. At this moment, Wang Mang was clearly in a good mood. After all, his combat strength had reached the Holy Emperor level. At this moment, the system's voice sounded again. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Become famous in the Eastern Heaven Realm. Become the holy son of a super sacred land. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 1 billion energy value. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Mission 2. Become famous in the Eastern Heaven Realm. Become the holy son of a top sacred land. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 2 billion energy value. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X2. Mission 3. Become famous in the Holy Emperor continent. Kill the holy sons of 10 sacred lands. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 5 billion energy value. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X1. Mission 4. Become famous in the Holy Emperor continent. Kill all the holy sons of the Holy Emperor continent. Mission time. Obtained upon completion. Mission reward. 8 billion energy value. Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X3. Immortal King Grade Blind Box X3. Note 1. According to the standard of an ordinary sacred land, there should be no less than 10 rank 5 powerhouses and no less than 3 Holy Emperor, quasi-sage, powerhouses. Note 2. According to the standard of a super sacred land, there should be no less than 15 rank 5 powerhouses and no less than 3 Holy Emperor, sage, powerhouses. Note 3. According to the standard of a top sacred land, there should be no less than 25 rank 5 powerhouses and no less than 5 Holy Emperor, sage, powerhouses. Chapter 656. After listening to the 4 missions issued by the system, Wang Mang was stunned again. Good heavens! He had just broken through a small level, and now he was looking for something to do. Moreover, this mission was to make him the Bachelor of a Sacred Ground. The rewards of the 4 missions were very good. However, Wang Mang could also see the difficulty. It could be said that the more rewards there were, the more difficult it would be. The first mission was to become the Bachelor of a super first-rate Holy Emperor. The reward was 1 billion energy points and an Immortal King treasure chest. This mission was not bad. He could consider it. The second mission was to become the Bachelor of a top-tier sacred ground. The reward was doubled. 2 billion energy points and 2 Immortal King treasure chests. This mission was not bad either. He could consider it. As for the third mission, he had to kill 10 saints. The reward was 5 billion energy points, an Immortal King treasure chest, and a blind box. The rewards were obviously more generous. However, the problem was, how strong were the saints? Even Wang Mang himself did not know this, so he was a little hesitant. As for the fourth mission, there was no need to consider it. Kill all the saints of the sacred grounds. This was equivalent to killing the strongest young generation in the entire Holy Emperor continent, right? Wang Mang admitted that he did not have the strength, and he was not that kind of person. Moreover, if he really killed these saints of the sacred grounds, not to mention how strong these saints were. However, if he really did that, it was equivalent to offending all the forces in the Holy Emperor continent. Compared to the rewards, this mission was not worth the loss. At this point, the third and fourth missions could be eliminated. Wang Mang only had two choices left. The first mission was to become the Bachelor of super first-rate sacred ground. The second mission was to become the Bachelor of a top-tier sacred ground. From the perspective of the rewards, he should choose the second mission. However, from the ease of completing the mission, he should choose the first mission. Should I choose the first or second mission? The difference between the first and second missions was not that big. Both missions had God Emperor-level powerhouses. However, the difficulty was definitely not the same. The competition to become the Bachelor of a top-tier sacred ground would definitely be greater. Thinking of this, Wang Mang finally made a decision after thinking about it again and again. He decided to choose the first mission, because from the difficulty of the mission, the first mission was the easiest of the four missions. Moreover, the rewards that should be given were not lacking. With that thought, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, I choose the first mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. Mission selected successfully. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was no longer so conflicted. However, what Wang Mang did not know was that he was very glad that he had chosen to become the holy son of a super first-rate holy land. That was because the competition to become the saint of a top sacred ground was even more intense. Furthermore, there were only a few top sacred grounds in the Sacred Emperor continent. All the geniuses of the Sacred Emperor continent were trying their best to become a saint. In addition, some of the top holy lands chose their holy sons through internal selection. On the contrary, super first-rate holy lands also had such a situation, but they were more inclined toward strength. Therefore, it was much easier to become a holy son of a super first-rate holy land than a top-tier holy land. But what made Wang Mang's head hurt was that he didn't know where in the Eastern Heaven realm there was a first-rate holy land. He would probably have to ask around to find out. Not only that, even if there was a super first-rate holy land, it didn't mean that they didn't have a holy son. Therefore, the mission was actually not that simple. At least, Wang Mang felt that it was a headache. He decided not to think too much about it for now. Wang Mang slowly got up, then pushed open the stone door of the seclusion room and walked out. As soon as he walked out, Wang Mang felt a few powerful auras coming from afar. Without exception, those auras were all at the level of the Sacred Emperor. Among them, there were two auras that even Wang Mang could not help but frown. Those two auras were too powerful. Although they were not middle Sacred Emperors, they were definitely third heaven Sacred Emperors. Could they be from the Black Dragon City? Just as Wang Mang was feeling puzzled, Vice City Lord Luo Su and Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi appeared in front of him. They said solemnly, "City Lord Master, our City Lord's mansion has been surrounded by 5 Sacred Emperors." At this point, Vice City Lord Bei and Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi's faces were extremely ugly. Wang Mang also didn't think that a few ants he didn't care about would be able to attract 5 Saint Emperors. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have let those ants off no matter what. He regretted it so much. After all, Wang Mang did not expect the Black Dragon City to be so powerful. There were even quite a few Sacred Emperors. After all, in the huge Greenwood City, Wang Mang had not seen any Sacred Emperors. But the Black Dragon City had sent 5 of them at the same time. It gave Wang Mang the feeling that Sacred Emperors were not worth much. If he had encountered them in the Supreme Tomb, Wang Mang could still accept it. After all, the Supreme Tomb was too eye-catching. But he only had the mask of the Immortal Emperor in his hand. But Wang Mang could also see it from this. These guys were more interested in the mask of the Immortal Emperor than he had imagined. But what made Wang Mang feel a little helpless was how he could solve the problem in front of him. Although Wang Mang's combat power was at the peak of the first heaven of the sacred emperor realm, the problem was that there were 5 sacred emperors outside. No matter how good he was at fighting, he could not win, right? 1 against 5? How is that possible? Moreover, the 2 strongest sacred emperors were at the 3rd heaven of the sacred emperor realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly felt a little conflicted. How could he solve the problem in front of him? Should he continue to run away? At this moment, a cold voice sounded. "Fellow cultivator, you should come out. We're already here. Could it be that you're still thinking of running away?" After hearing this cold and majestic voice, Wang Mang decided to wait and see. At the same time, Wang Mang also sent a message to Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi, telling him to be prepared to run away with him at any time. Hearing this, Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi immediately understood Wang Mang's idea. Then, he maintained a certain distance from Wang Mang. At the same time, Wang Mang also walked out of the city lord's mansion. Looking at the 5 sacred emperors in the courtyard, he immediately smiled. "Fellow cultivators, you must be here for my mask of the immortal emperor, right?" As he spoke, Wang Mang also sized up the 5 sacred emperors. He realized that the remaining 3 were at the 1st heaven of the sacred emperor realm. They were not much of a threat to him. The biggest threat to him was actually the 2/3 heaven of the sacred emperor realm experts. At this moment, the 2/3 heaven of the sacred emperor realm experts looked at each other, then looked coldly at Wang Mang. "Since you know, why don't you hand over the mask of the immortal emperor? Do you think you can escape from under our noses?" Chapter 658. At the same time, Wang Mang's aura dropped from the peak of the 1st heaven of the immortal emperor realm to the peak of the 8th heaven of the immortal emperor realm. Since Wang Mang had taken off the real immortal emperor mask, his strength naturally dropped. There was no need for him to fake it. Coupled with the fake immortal emperor mask, his aura was almost identical to the real immortal emperor mask. Even the sage emperors present did not notice anything amiss. At the same time, the moment Wang Mang threw out the immortal emperor mask, Emperor Wu Shi was also fooled. He immediately cried out in anger. "My lord, no." Vice City Lord Luo Su was also furious. "City Lord." At the same time, looking at the immortal emperor mask flying towards him, the blue-haired middle-aged man was overjoyed. He instinctively rushed forward and was about to keep the immortal emperor mask. But in the next moment, his expression changed drastically. He could feel another 3rd heaven of the immortal emperor realm attacking him. But he did not hesitate. He gritted his teeth and took the immortal emperor mask. At the same time, he quickly turned around and hurriedly struck out with his palm. 2 huge palms formed by magic power collided. The blue-haired man immediately spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. However, he laughed loudly and fled into the distance. "How dare you? Don't even think about leaving." The middle-aged man who attacked was furious. After roaring, he chased after him. Similarly, the other 3 first heaven of the sage emperors looked at each other and also chased after him without hesitation. They had already expected this to happen. Regardless of whether they were allies before, once they obtained the immortal emperor mask, any alliance would immediately collapse. Seeing the 5 sage emperors disappear, Wang Mang heaved a sigh of relief. If there were only 3 first heaven of the sage emperors, Wang Mang would not be afraid at all. But the 2/3 heaven of the sage emperors did indeed put a lot of pressure on Wang Mang. Otherwise, he would not have painstakingly spent 100 million to send them off with the fake immortal emperor mask. "My lord, you're foolish. If you lose the immortal emperor mask, your strength will be greatly reduced. It's not worth it." Emperor Wu Shi could not help but shake his head and sigh. At the same time, Vice City Lord Bei also frowned. If Wang Mang had escaped, he would not have looked down on Wang Mang, because the disparity in strength was too great. Even Wang Mang had the strength of a Saint Emperor. However, there were a total of 5 Saint Emperors. Even if they managed to escape, it would not be embarrassing. However, Wang Mang had actually handed over his 5th-tier supreme treasure, the Immortal Emperor's Mask. This made him somewhat look down on Wang Mang. He couldn't understand how Wang Mang had obtained the immortal emperor's mask back then. Wang Mang did not explain to Wu Shi, Heavenly Emperor, and North Vice City, Lord Luo Su. On the contrary, Wang Mang immediately put on a helpless expression and lightly sighed. How could it be that I have no fate with the immortal emperor's mask? Furthermore, even if one possessed the immortal emperor's mask, one would not dare to use it at will. Instead, I've attracted the calamity of being killed time and time again. I might as well throw this trouble to others. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the North Vice City Lord's heart bled. He wanted to say to Wang Mang, "If you think it's a trouble, then you can give me the immortal emperor's mask. I'm willing to take on this kind of trouble. I'm willing to take on this kind of danger." However, what was done could not be undone. There was no chance for him to do so. At the same time, Wang Mang asked the North Vice City Lord, Luo Su, "What do you think of being the North Vice City Lord?" Hearing this, the North Vice City Lord was stunned. What does he mean? Do I have an idea? Are you going to give me the position of the North Vice City Lord? You must be testing my loyalty. Thinking of this, Luo Su suddenly looked serious. Don't worry, North Vice City Lord. No matter what happens, the Luo family will always be on your side. Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned. He immediately realized that this guy must have misunderstood. Thinking of this, Wang Mang smiled and waved his hand. I know you're very loyal, but let me ask you, are you interested in the position of the Vice City Lord? If you're interested in the position of the North Vice City Lord, you only need to give me 500 million immortal stones, and I'll give it to you. Hearing Wang Mang's words, Luo Su finally understood. Wang Mang was not testing his loyalty. He really wanted to sell the position of the Vice City Lord. But the problem was 500 million immortal stones. Luo Su thought too highly of him. Although the Luo family was very powerful in the North City, they were not any weaker than the Yang family in the East City. But the problem was that even the Luo family did not have that many immortal stones. But the problem was he was really interested in the position of the North Vice City Lord. If he could become the North Vice City Lord, he would be able to get back the 100 million immortal stones within a year. Thinking of this, Luo Su hesitated for a long time and said helplessly, Vice City Lord, 500 million immortal stones is too much. Even if the Luo family goes bankrupt, we can only get 200 million immortal stones. Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. Asking for 500 million immortal stones was just asking for too much. Moreover, Wang Mang knew that the Luo family would definitely not be able to take out 500 million immortal stones. But 200 million immortal stones was not a small amount. To Wang Mang, it was totally free immortal stones. Because he was already prepared to leave the Greenwood City to find a holy land to be the sage. Therefore, if he could get 200 million immortal stones before he left, Wang Mang would be very happy. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said slowly, I have seen your loyalty. How about this? If you can gather 200 million immortal stones and give it to me by today, the position of the North City Lord will be yours. Hearing this, Luo Su's eyes lit up. Then, he quickly said, Thank you, Vice City Lord. I will gather the immortal stones now and send it to the Vice City Lord's mansion before sunset. Wang Mang nodded and waved his hand in satisfaction. Go. Then, Luo Su left the Vice City Lord's mansion without stopping. 3 hours later, Luo Su brought the 200 million immortal stones to the Vice City Lord's mansion. After Wang Mang received the immortal stones, he was overjoyed. Then, he immediately ordered that Luo Su would be the new Vice City Lord of the North City. Then, Wang Mang brought Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi and the Black Emperor and left the North City that very night. Then, Wang Mang went to the East City and left the Greenwood City with Lan. After leaving the Greenwood City, Wang Mang spent a few days and finally walked out of the Million Mountain Range. After Wang Mang left the Million Mountain Range, he started to wander around the Divine Light City, one of the top 10 cities in the East Heaven Realm. The so-called top 10 cities in the East Heaven Realm refer to the 10 largest and most boundless cities in the East Heaven Realm. Then, Wang Mang started to ask around for information about the top 4 holy lands in the East Heaven realm. In the end, Wang Mang spent 2 days to find out about the top 4 holy lands. These 4 super first-rate holy lands were Divine Light City, Divine Light Holy Land; Sword Celestial City, Sword Celestial Holy Land; Crouching Dragon City, Crouching Dragon Holy Land; Thousand Demons City, Thousand Demons Holy Land. When he heard the news, Wang Mang laughed. This was too much of a coincidence. There was a top holy land in the Divine Light City. Thinking of this, Wang Mang made up his mind. He could go to the Divine Light Holy Land to take a look. Thinking of this, Wang Mang asked for the location of the Divine Light Holy Land, and then left with Enlon and Heavenly Emperor Wushi. Another day later, Wang Mang finally found the Divine Light Holy Land in the Divine Light City. The Divine Light Holy Land was located on a beautiful green mountain in the Divine Light City. This green mountain towered into the clouds and was faintly discernible in the clouds. It was like a celestial mountain. But not long after Wang Mang and his men entered the mountain, suddenly, an angry roar filled with pressure sounded. "Who are you? Why are you sneaking around the Divine Light Holy Land?" Hearing this, Wang Mang's body immediately trembled, and he hurriedly raised his head to look. Then Wang Mang saw a white-haired old man in a luxurious robe, standing proudly in the air. His terrifying aura was hovering between a sage emperor and a god emperor. Even Wang Mang felt his heart palpitate. Therefore, Wang Mang quickly said respectfully, "Greetings, senior. Speak. What are you doing here?" The old man's expression was cold as he shouted. Wang Mang quickly explained with a respectful expression, "Senior, I want to join the Divine Light Holy Land and participate in the battle for the position of saint." Hearing this, the old man in the luxurious robe narrowed his eyes. His eyes flickered. Then, with a mocking expression, he looked at Wang Mang and laughed coldly. "Do you really think that anyone can compete for the position of saint in the Divine Light Holy Land? You? You want to become a saint? You think you're worthy?" Chapter 659. What the F***CK? What a dog. What did I do to offend you? Why the F***CK are you insulting me like this? At that moment, Wang Mang could only feel a ball of anger burning in his heart. After all, from start to finish, Wang Mang felt that his attitude was very humble. But this guy, F***CK, he mocked him for no reason. He even humiliated him time and time again. To be honest, if not for the fact that he did not know this old man, Wang Mang would have suspected that this old man had a grudge against him. Similarly, it was not just Wang Mang who was angry. Enlon and Heavenly Emperor Wushi were also furious. However, the old man was too powerful. He was so powerful that even if Wang Mang wore the mask of the immortal emperor, there was still a huge gap between them. Moreover, Wang Mang did not have the ability to fight against him. If he wanted to fight with this old man, or kill him, Wang Mang would have to pay a huge price. He would have to at least reach the peak of the Holy Emperor level, which was 8 levels. If there was no conflict of interest, or if there was a guarantee of benefits, Wang Mang would not touch this old man. He could only suppress the anger in his heart and smile brightly. "Since I am not qualified, then I will take my leave." After saying that, Wang Mang chuckled and cupped his hands towards the old man. Hearing that, the old man looked at Wang Mang in surprise. If it were anyone else, they would not have been so good-tempered. After all, he knew the pride of these prodigies. At the same time, he could also feel that Wang Mang was indeed very talented. After all, a peerless genius would have a relatively high status in any sacred ground. Even if he joined a top sacred ground, he would be able to become one of the best. To be honest, if not for the recent competition for the position of saint in the Divine Light Sacred Ground, he would definitely have recruited Wang Mang into the Divine Light Sacred Ground. However, now that the position of saint was taken, his great-grandson had a very high chance of becoming the saint. Thus, while he was in charge of patrolling the Divine Light Sacred Ground, he had already chased away many geniuses to join the Divine Light Sacred Ground. That was because these prodigies joining the Divine Light Sacred Ground would increase the chances of his great-grandson becoming a saint. Only after Wang Mang and the others left did he nod in satisfaction. Then he muttered to himself, "Great-grandson, this is as far as I can help you. You must do well for our Zhou clan." At the same time, they left the vicinity of the divine light holy land. Unlan couldn't help but say angrily, "My lord, if you hadn't stopped me earlier, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to stop myself from suppressing this old man on the spot." Hearing this, the Black Emperor, who had just been released, immediately mocked. "You think you can suppress him? His strength has reached the peak of Saint Emperor. How can you suppress him? Using your tone to suppress him?" Unlan was instantly enraged. He glared fiercely at the Black Emperor and said coldly, "You damn dog, King say that again. Do you believe that I won't kill you and eat your dog meat?" Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi patted the Black Emperor's dog head and gave him a look, indicating that he should say something. Wang Mang also waved his hand helplessly and said, "All right, stop arguing. There's no benefit in fighting with this old man. There's no need to fight with him at all. Moreover, even if the Divine Light Holy Land can't join, there are still 3 other holy lands in the Eastern Sky Realm." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the furious Unlan couldn't help but say sullenly, "My lord, I'm not boasting. I really want to suppress that old man and help you vent your anger." Wang Mang was even more speechless. "You're King boasting again. You're not boasting? If you were reliable, would I have to suffer so much? All right, you're so considerate." Wang Mang comforted him helplessly. Then he said, "Next, there's still the other 3 holy lands. Let's find out more about them. I hope we won't encounter such a situation again." With that, Wang Mang walked towards the center of the Divine Light City. Actually, this was the best way to find out more information. It was really in a restaurant in the center of the city, or in a brothel in the center of the city. The 2 places here were very well informed. Hence, Wang Mang brought his subordinates to a restaurant and ordered a table full of dishes. But just as Wang Mang and his subordinates sat down, they heard discussions at various tables in the restaurant. "Have you heard? The Sword King wanted to join the Divine Light Holy Land, but he was rejected." "I know about this. I didn't know that the Sword King was rejected by the Divine Light Holy Land. It can be said that many prodigies who wanted to join the Divine Light Holy Land were rejected." Haha, I know about the Divine Light Holy Land. It's said that the Zhou family is determined to get the Divine Light Holy Land. For the sake of making Zhou Yuan a chosen, how many geniuses have been rejected by the Zhou clan? If you really want to join the Holy Land and fight for the position of saint, it's better to go to the city of 10,000 demons and join the 10,000 demons Holy Land. That's right. Although the 10,000 demons Holy Land is extremely cruel, at least the saint they elect is the strongest. Why not join the Sword Immortal Holy Land? I heard that the Sword Immortal Holy Land is quite good. The Sword Immortal Holy Land's saint has already been elected. There are already several candidates. As for the Crouching Dragon Holy Land, the competition is even more intense. There are many family clans and factions everywhere. Among the 4 great holy lands in the Eastern Sky Realm, the Crouching Dragon Holy Land has the most family clans and factions. When he heard this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. He had basically heard about the other 3 holy lands. Similarly, Wang Mang also roughly knew why he was rejected by the Divine Light Holy Land. It turned out that the Zhou family of the Divine Light Holy Land wanted to become this year's saint. Hence, they had secretly rejected many prodigies from joining the Divine Light Holy Land. Wang Mang was also one of those rejected. But Wang Mang also found out about the other 3 holy lands. The Crouching Dragon Holy Land had many family clans and factions. In contrast, the factions were complicated. The Sword Immortal Holy Land already had a saint. Although the 10,000 Demons Holy Land had fair competition, it was extremely cruel. It could be said that there were only 2 choices for Wang Mang now. They were the Crouching Dragon Holy Land and the 1,000 Demons Holy Land. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately made a decision. Compared to the Crouching Dragon Holy Land, Wang Mang felt that the 1,000 Demons Holy Land was more suitable for him. After all, the crouching dragon Holy Land had many family clans and factions. The situation was probably very complicated. Although the competition in the Thousand Demons Holy Land was intense and even extremely cruel, it was at least fair. After all, Wang Mang did not want to offend a large number of first-rate family clans and factions in the crouching dragon Holy Land for the position of saint. Hence, Wang Mang set his sights on the Thousand Demons Holy Land. After finishing his meal, Wang Mang left the restaurant with his subordinates and headed for the Thousand Demon City. 2 days later, Wang Mang finally arrived at the Thousand Demon City with his subordinates. After arriving at the Thousand Demon City, Wang Mang began to inquire about the location of the Thousand Demons Holy Land. After finding out the location of the Thousand Demons Holy Land, Wang Mang and his subordinates soon arrived at the so-called 10,000 Devil Holy Land. It was worth mentioning that the location of the 10,000 Demons Holy Land was located at the peak of a mountain with white bones everywhere. Moreover, the broken limbs and bones paved the way. The entire mountain peak was filled with a black murderous aura. After Wang Mang entered the mountain, he immediately felt the aura of a peak saint emperor sweeping over from afar. Before the person arrived, a loud voice resounded through the sky. "Who goes there? What is your purpose in coming to the Thousand Demons Holy Land?" As soon as the voice finished speaking, Wang Mang saw a black-robed, white-haired old man standing proudly in the air, looking at them indifferently. Seeing this, Wang Mang immediately said respectfully, "Greetings, Senior. This junior is here to join the Thousand Demons Holy Land." Hearing this, the black-robed, white-haired old man glanced at Wang Mang in surprise. He immediately smiled warmly and said, "So that's how it is. All of you follow me. I will personally bring you to the Thousand Demons Holy Land." Chapter 660. The reason why the old man was so enthusiastic. Naturally, there was a reason. He could tell that Wang Mang's aptitude was very good. His cultivation level was only at the 6th heaven of the immortal emperor realm, but his aura was not weaker than that of a peak 8th heaven immortal emperor. This proved that Wang Mang was definitely a legendary prodigy. Legendary prodigies were not cabbages. It could be said that there were not many of them, even in the Eastern Heaven realm. That was because there were indeed many outstanding people in the same realm, but the number of legendary prodigies of the Great Tao was really relatively small. Moreover, it was too difficult to become a legendary prodigy. It required tyrannical aptitude, powerful battle strength, and various trump cards. Even in the current all-demons sacred land, there were no more than 10 legendary prodigies. It could be seen how rare legendary prodigies were. Moreover, if he was the one who brought Wang Mang into the all-demons sacred land, in that case, this peerless genius would naturally belong to their faction. The all-demons sacred land was now divided into 3 major factions. Each of these 3 factions had a God Emperor level expert standing behind them. Therefore, the all-demons sacred land's holy son, he had always been from the 3 major factions. That was because the 3 major factions were the core of the all-demons sacred land. The 3 God Emperors were also the foundation of the all-demons sacred land. Similarly, these legendary prodigies also represented the future prosperity of the all-demons sacred land. Even in the future, they would become the pillars of the all-demons sacred land's continued strength. From this, it could be seen how important the legendary prodigies were in the Sacred Emperor continent, especially the rank 5 legendary prodigies. In the Sacred Emperor continent, any Sacred Emperor was a high-end talent. In fact, he might even be able to take over a powerful position in the future. Because of this, even the black-robed, white-haired old man was very polite to Wang Mang. That was because Wang Mang's strength was definitely superior among the legendary prodigies. It could even be said that he was one of the candidates for the Holy Sun. Moreover, if his guess was correct, he felt that Wang Mang was also aiming for the position of Holy Sun. Soon, under the guidance of the black-robed, white-haired old man, Wang Mang entered the all-demons Holy Land. After entering the Holy Land, Wang Mang was shocked to discover that there were too many Type 5 powerhouses here. How could it only be 15? There were dozens of them. This also meant that the Holy Land of Myriad Demons had a few dozen Stage 5 powerhouses. Soon, Wang Mang arrived at a huge palace. In this palace, Wang Mang saw many Tier 4 and even Tier 3 members. There were both men and women among these members, but there were more female cultivators. Without exception, they were all wearing the unique black robes of the 10,000 Demons Holy Land. Clearly, these people were disciples of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. This was Wang Mang's guess. However, that was not the case. These people couldn't even be considered disciples. It should be said that these people were the descendants of the former disciples of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Now, in the Holy Land, he had become a servant or an outer disciple. This was because in order to become an inner disciple, one had to reach the peak of stage 4, an existence of the immortal sovereign realm. Of course, these people stayed in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land of their own accord. This was because if they left the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, they wouldn't even have the chance to join. This was because the standards of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land were too high. The lowest was the immortal Emperor realm. Only then could one become an outer disciple, an existence of the immortal sovereign realm. Only then could one become an inner disciple. Only Stage 5 existences had true status in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Therefore, when Wang Mang joined the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, it could be said that he had directly entered the center of power. This was because Wang Mang's strength was not weak, and he was close to the Sage Emperor realm, so his starting point was naturally very high. At this moment, the black-robed, white-haired old man immediately smiled at Wang Mang. You can choose some servants here to take care of your daily life. You can choose at least 6 servants and a maximum of 50. Choose your servants first, and I'll bring you to register your identity. Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned for a moment, then nodded and said, "Yes, senior." After saying those words, Wang Mang swept his gaze over the group of men and women who had lined up. Wang Mang casually chose 6 good-looking girls. The 6 girls who were chosen by Wang Mang were overjoyed, while the rest of the girls and male cultivators were gloomy. This was because the fastest way to increase one's strength was to be a servant of an expert. If they were rewarded by their master, their strength would increase rapidly with some random treasures. It could be said that if one wanted to become an outer disciple of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, or even an inner disciple, the best way was to become a servant or made of a Stage 5 expert. This was also the real reason why these people were willing to stay in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. All right, those who have been chosen, follow your master. After I lead your master to register his identity, you lead your master to the courtyard of the mansion. After saying that, the old man beckoned to Wang Mang to follow him. Seeing this, Wang Mang followed without hesitation. While walking, the old man chuckled and asked Wang Mang, "What's the matter?" "Wang Mang, you want to compete for the position of the Holy Sun, right?" Wang Mang said respectfully, "Senior, I do want to become the Holy Sun of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, but I don't know if my strength is enough to become the Holy Sun." After hearing Wang Mang's question, the black-robed, white-haired old man sized up Wang Mang for a while, then said with a pleasant expression, "Actually, your cultivation level is still a little low, but it's not by much. In the past, the Holy Sun of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land was basically at the early stage of the Sage Emperor stage. If it was an amazing era, the Holy Sun would reach the middle stage of the Sage Emperor stage." After hearing the old man's words, Wang Mang suddenly understood, and his eyes could not help but light up. That was because the position of the Holy Sun was really not that difficult for him to obtain, if he could break through 1 or 2 small realms. The position of the Holy Sun was definitely set in stone. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately said respectfully, "Senior, I want to participate in the battle of the Holy Sun. Please help me." After hearing this, the 6 beautiful servant girls behind her all had joyous expressions on their faces. They also did not expect that Wang Mang would want to compete for the position of the Holy Son of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Once Wang Mang really became the Holy Son, then, even if they were just maids, their statuses were still rising along with the tide. Because there was a good saying, there are 7 ranks in front of the Prime Minister's door. The stronger Wang Mang was, the higher his status in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Then, their status and treatment would naturally be higher. Chapter 661. After hearing Wang Mang's words, the black-robed, white-haired elder looked at Wang Mang and shook his head. Wang Mang, it's not that I don't want to help you. Including you, there are only 3 people in our faction who are qualified to compete for the position of the Holy Son. As for the other 2, there is 6th Heavenly Layer Immortal Emperor and an 8th Heavenly Layer Immortal Emperor. Actually, even if you want to become the Holy Son, the chances are not small. To tell you the truth, if you want to become the Holy Son, you have to at least have the strength of a Sage Emperor. If you don't have the strength of a Sage Emperor, you'll just be an accompaniment or a candidate for the position of the Holy Son. Obviously, the black-robed, white-haired elder was also interested in the position of the Holy Son. However, Wang Mang's strength did not have much of an advantage. If he were to help Wang Mang, he would have to spend a lot of resources. Just the immortal stones alone would cost at least a few billion. Moreover, he might even need more resources to win the position of the Holy Son. Therefore, he was not willing to invest so many resources to help Wang Mang. This was because they had placed their hopes on the peerless geniuses of the 8th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. Unless Wang Mang's strength was also at the 8th heaven Immortal Emperor level, or even stronger, they would choose to support Wang Mang fully. After hearing the black-robed, white-haired elder's words, Wang Mang's face suddenly turned ugly. He could understand the meaning behind the black-robed, white-haired elder's words. The people in their faction would fully support the 8th heaven Immortal Emperor Peerless Genius to compete for the position of the Holy Son. As for him and the other 6th heaven Immortal Emperor Peerless Genius, they might be able to participate in the competition, but it was just a formality. In the end, if they were lucky, they could become one of the candidates for the position of the Holy Son. The so-called candidates for the position of the Holy Son actually only needed 3 people. They were the 3 strongest peerless geniuses below the Holy Son. If an accident happened to the Holy Son, or if the Holy Son died, the Holy Son candidate would inherit the position of Holy Son. Similarly, in the outside world, only the Holy Son could say that he was the Holy Son of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. He represented the dignity of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. However, the candidates of the Holy Son did not have this qualification. At most, he could only say that he was from the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. To put it bluntly, the Holy Son was equivalent to the crown prince of a holy land. However, a candidate for the Son of Saint was at most a prince. It didn't seem like a big gap, but the gap was huge. This was because the Holy Son would become the Lord of a holy land in the future. As for the Holy Son candidates, they could only become powerful elders in the Holy Land in the future. Therefore, Wang Mang was definitely not interested in becoming a candidate for the Son of Saint. He had come here for the position of Holy Son. Becoming a candidate for the Son of Saint was not what he wanted. Moreover, the mission given by the system was to become the saint. Becoming a candidate for the saint might not be considered as completing the mission. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's expression changed. He couldn't help but ask, "Senior, how much time is left until the Holy Son election?" Hearing this, the black-robed, white-haired old man chuckled and said, "Call me Third Elder. As for the Holy Son election, there's still a month. Although the possibility of becoming the Holy Son is not high, I think you can still fight for the position of Holy Son candidate. Once you become a candidate for the Holy Son, you can become an elder in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land in the future." At this point, the black-robed, white-haired old man said with a lonely expression, "Back then, I was also not qualified to compete for the position of Holy Son. In the end, I gave it my all and finally became a candidate for the position of Holy Son. When I was older, I became an elder in the 10,000 devil holy land. As for the Holy Son who defeated me back then, he is the current sacred master. He should be qualified to become a god emperor. A god emperor. I don't know if I have the chance to become a god emperor in this life. After hearing this old man's words, Wang Mang could roughly understand this old man's background. It turned out that this old man was also a candidate for the position of Holy Son. Although he was at the bottom, he was not weak. Moreover, Wang Mang could roughly tell from this old man's words that to become a god emperor from a sage emperor required an even more terrifying amount of resources. The amount of resources was so great that even a peak sage emperor like him felt despair. Otherwise, this old man would not have said such a thing. Thinking of this, Wang Mang did not know what to say. He silently followed behind the old man and soon arrived at a large hall for registration. Then, under the guidance of the third elder, Wang Mang directly became a core disciple of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. A core disciple was actually the highest level of a disciple. Their status was even higher than that of a core disciple. In fact, it was just a candidate for the position of Holy Son, a Holy Son, and a group of elders and sacred masters. All right, I'll send you off here. Let these maidservants of yours bring you to the demon shrine. If there's anything you need to contact me for, come to the Elders' Hall to find me. After they left the registration hall, the third elder said to Wang Mang with a smile. Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately cupped his hands respectfully and said, "Thank you for your guidance, third elder." The third elder smiled and nodded, then turned and left. Seeing this, one of the maidservants immediately said softly, "Young master, please follow me. Young master, please follow me. We will bring you to the Demon King's palace." Majestic, Wang Mang nodded slightly. Then, under the guidance of the 6 maidservants, he brought his subordinates to the so-called Demon King's Hall. However, what surprised Wang Mang was that the area where the Demon King's Hall was located was very vast. Every hall was very tall and wide. Moreover, next to the Demon King's Hall, there were 14 majestic halls that did not lose to the Demon King's Hall. For example, the halls to the left and right of Wang Mang were called the War God Hall and the Supreme Hall respectively. It could be said that the names of these halls were each more impressive than the other. Just as Wang Mang was about to enter his Demon King's Hall, in the War God Temple next door, a figure suddenly walked out of the main hall. Then, Wang Mang saw a figure with a very powerful aura walk out of the War God Hall. It was a handsome young man in a black robe. His face was cold, and his eyes were as sharp as swords. After seeing Wang Mang, he first sized up Wang Mang with a hostile gaze. However, when he discovered that Wang Mang was only at the 6th heaven of the immortal emperor realm, the hostility in the young man's eyes disappeared, and his expression became relaxed. He nodded at Wang Mang with a smile and said, "I'm the Sword Sovereign. How should I address you?" Hearing this, Wang Mang's heart sank, but he replied with a smile, "Greetings, Sword Sovereign. I'm Wang Mang." The reason why Wang Mang was so polite was mainly because he could feel the aura of a peerless prodigy from the Sword Sovereign. Moreover, the Sword Sovereign's aura had already surpassed the immortal Emperor realm, reaching the peak of the 1st heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. It could be said that even if Wang Mang put on the immortal Emperor mask, he was not confident that he could defeat the Sword Sovereign. Therefore, Wang Mang guessed that the Sword Sovereign must be one of the strongest opponents in the competition for the position of Saint. At this moment, the Sword Sovereign immediately smiled warmly. "If you have time, Wang Mang, you can come and spar with me." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately smiled and nodded. Sure. If you have time, I'll have to bother you, Sword Sovereign." The Sword Sovereign immediately nodded after seeing Wang Mang's attitude. He felt that Wang Mang was a brother worth befriending. In addition, Wang Mang did not have any conflict of interest with him. Even the competition for the position of Saint was not a threat to him. Therefore, the Sword Sovereign had a good impression of Wang Mang. However, he definitely did not expect that Wang Mang, who was smiling at him at this moment, was thinking about something. He was racking his brains to think of a way to kill him. Chapter 662. Of course, Wang Mang wanted to kill this guy. Actually, it was not strange at all, because Wang Mang could tell. This guy was definitely one of the chosen saint's biggest competitors. Just this guy's exposed strength had already reached the peak of the first heaven of Saint Emperor. This strength was almost on par with his strength when he wore the immortal Emperor mask. Moreover, Wang Mang was not confident that he could surpass this guy within a month. After all, who knew if this guy had any trump cards? Therefore, Wang Mang could only think of a way to kill this guy. If a head-on competition was not possible, he could only use some tricks. However, how to kill this guy was also a problem. According to Wang Mang's current trend, he wanted to kill this guy. It would be best to lure this guy out of the All-Demons' sacred land. This was because they were not allowed to fight in the All-Demons' sacred land. This was because whether it was Wang Mang or this so-called sword noble, it could be said that they were both highly valued by the All-Demons' sacred land and were the future pillars of the All-Demons' sacred land. Because of this, if he really wanted to make a move, he could only do it outside the All-Demons' sacred land. However, the problem was, how should he kill this guy? Should he rely on him first and kill him at the critical moment? Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately had an idea and smiled. Brother Sword Noble, with such strength, it seems that the position of chosen saint is already set in stone. Hearing this, Sword Noble was overjoyed, and the smile on his face became even wider. He looked at Wang Mang with a more cordial gaze. Haha, Brother Wang Mang, you think too highly of me. Now, there are two other guys who are qualified to compete with me. They are Zun Long and Gu Yuan. Speaking of this, Sword Noble also frowned. Clearly, these two fellows were the real enemies to him. This was because these two guys were in the same realm as him, and they were also legendary geniuses. Even he was not confident that he could suppress these two people. However, when he thought of how Wang Mang thought highly of him and wanted to get close to him, Sword Noble immediately became overbearing. The Sword Sovereign suddenly looked as if he could swallow mountains and rivers. He smiled domineeringly and said, However, Wang Mang Bear, you don't have to worry. I'm determined to get the position of the Holy Sun. Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately became happy and congratulated. Brother Jian, please take care of me in the future. Brother, I don't have high hopes. As long as I can become a Holy Sun candidate, I can also become an elder of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land in the future. After hearing Wang Mang's words, Sword King was overjoyed and said with a pleasant expression, That's right. Well said, well said. Brother Wang Mang, if you want to become a candidate for the Son of Saint, wouldn't you be able to do it with your hands? From what I can see, although Brother Wang Mang is not strong enough to compete for the position of the Son of Saint, it is still very easy for him to become a candidate. If I can become the Holy Sun, even if Brother Wang Mang is only a candidate at the bottom, the position of the Great Elder will still belong to you. Obviously, these words could be said to be a blatant attempt to rope in Wang Mang. After all, every Son of Saint had to have his own faction. Moreover, he had already guessed that Wang Mang might be from his faction. That was because the third elder was in charge of guarding and patrolling the 10,000 Devil Holy Land today. This was also one of the reasons why he did not hesitate to rope in Wang Mang. There were three major factions in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. They were the Demon God Patriarch's faction, the Bloodthirsty Patriarch's faction, and the Darkness Patriarch's faction. Wang Mang and Sword King were obviously from the Demon God Patriarch's faction. As for the other peerless genius, who was also qualified to participate in the battle for the position of the Son of Saint, it was not that Sword King did not want to rope him in, but that guy was too overconfident and wanted to compete for the position of the Son of Saint. Sword King was very disdainful of this and felt that the other peerless genius did not know how to appreciate favors. Especially when compared to Wang Mang, Sword King felt that Wang Mang was the talent that he needed to take the initiative to rope in. Look at how well Wang Mang spoke. How sensible was he? A wise man submits to circumstances. Faced with Sword King's attempt to rope him in, Wang Mang immediately looked happy and laughed loudly. Ha! Thank you, Brother Sword King. If I can become the Great Elder, I will naturally help Brother Sword King to win the position of the Son of Saint. Sword King nodded in satisfaction when he saw this scene. But at that moment, a mocking voice sounded. The battle for the position of the Son of Saint has not even begun, and you're already daydreaming. Hearing that, Wang Mang looked sideways and saw a similarly young and handsome man walking out from the Sword King's War God Temple. This man's face was cold and stern, and he was dressed in a black robe, giving off a very cold feeling. However, his aura was very powerful. He was clearly only a 6th Heaven Immortal Emperor, but his aura was comparable to a peak 8th Heaven Immortal Emperor. Obviously, this cold-faced man was also a peerless genius. Moreover, Wang Mang guessed that this cold-faced man, Sword King, and him were all peerless geniuses of the same lineage. Otherwise, if 3 peerless geniuses of different lineages became neighbors, they would probably fight sooner or later. As expected, Sword King's next words confirmed Wang Mang's guess. At that moment, Sword King said coldly, "You overestimate yourself. Lu Sun, do you think you can compete with me?" Hearing that, the cold-faced man sneered and said, "Just wait and see." After saying that, the cold-faced man glanced mockingly at Wang Mang and said disdainfully, "You're a peerless genius, but you're willing to become Sword King's lackey. I really don't know how you became a peerless genius. You don't even have the arrogance of a peerless genius. You're simply a disgrace to the word peerless genius." After hearing that, Wang Mang was stunned. F***CK. What the hell did I do to offend you? For a moment, Wang Mang felt extremely depressed. He hadn't even said anything, and he was already implicated for no reason. However, Wang Mang really didn't take this guy seriously, because Wang Mang was qualified to compete for the position of Saint with the mask on. However, this guy was just a peerless genius of the 6th Heaven. How could he be qualified to compete with him? Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately said coldly, "Are you teaching me how to do things? Or are you looking down on my brother, Sword King? I think Brother Sword King has a high chance of becoming the Saint. I just think highly of Brother Sword King and am willing to support him. What's wrong with that?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, Sword King, who was originally a little unhappy, was instantly overjoyed. "This is my King good brother." Hearing that, Lu Sun immediately sneered. "Him? Which one of Zun Long and Gu Yuan is weaker than him? Even if I really don't have a chance to compete for the position of Saint, I won't support him." Sword King, who was originally in a good mood, instantly stiffened. At the same time, Wang Mang, who was quietly watching Sword King's expression change. At that moment, Wang Mang glared at Lu Sun and shouted angrily, "How dare you? Kid, how dare you humiliate my brother, Sword King? Arrogant. If you humiliate my brother again, I will kill you on the spot." Chapter 663. After hearing Wang Mang's words, Sword Noble was even more touched. He didn't expect Wang Mang to defend him like this. It seemed that Wang Mang really thought highly of him. With that thought in mind, the more Sword Noble looked at Wang Mang, the more he liked him. On the contrary, he looked at Lu Sun with a gaze that was filled with cold, killing intent. Especially this guy Lu Sun, who had humiliated him 3 times and 4 times, which made him very angry. If it weren't for the fact that he couldn't make a move in the all-demon sacred land, he would have killed Lu Sun long ago. After all, he was just an immortal emperor ant. Even if he was also a peerless genius, Lu Sun's strength was 2 small realms lower than his. Although it was troublesome for him to kill Lu Sun, it wasn't impossible. Of course, if there was a chance, he didn't mind killing Lu Sun. Obviously, Sword Noble had already developed killing intent towards Lu Sun. At the same time, Lu Sun, who didn't want to humiliate Sword Noble, was suddenly in a dilemma. Because Wang Mang's threat was too obvious. If he gave in, wouldn't it mean that he was afraid of the other party's threat? Thinking of this, Lu Sun was burning with anger and was about to speak. Suddenly, Lu Sun heard a mocking chuckle in the distance. After looking sideways, Wang Mang and the other two saw a young man in white standing at the entrance of a palace not far away, looking at them with a playful gaze. Seeing this scene, Lu Sun, who was in a dilemma, immediately sneered and said, "How dare you threaten me? So what if I humiliate Sword Noble? Sword Noble is just a dog in my eyes. Kid, what can you do to me?" After saying that, Lu Sun immediately looked at Wang Mang with a mocking gaze. The contempt in his eyes was obvious. Obviously, he didn't take Wang Mang seriously. The only people he really valued were Sword Noble, Zun Long, and Gu Yuan. These three people were the strongest competitors to become a saint. Similarly, the young man watching the show at the entrance of the palace not far away was also a peerless genius, but he wasn't Zun Long or Gu Yuan. It was also because there were bystanders that he couldn't back down in the face of Wang Mang's threat. However, what Lu Sun didn't know was that Wang Mang wasn't angry at his humiliation. Instead, he was happy. His previous words were meant to provoke these peerless geniuses. When he saw the Sword King's stiff and unpleasant expression, Wang Mang instantly became a drama queen. He stared at Lu Sun with a ferocious expression as his terrifying dermic powers became even more violent. "Madman, you really deserve to die." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang was ready to attack. At this moment, the furious Sword Lord immediately stopped Wang Mang and whispered, "Brother Wang Mang, this is not a suitable place to fight. If Brother Wang Mang really kills him, there will be no place for him in the All-Devil's Holy Land." Hearing this, Wang Mang looked at Lu Sun coldly, as if his anger had not subsided. Looking at Wang Mang's cold gaze, Lu Sun immediately smiled disdainfully and arrogantly turned around to enter the palace. Seeing this, Sword Lord immediately comforted him. "All right, Brother Wang Mang, go back to the palace and rest first. Leave this kid to me. When there's a chance to attack, I'll kill him." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately nodded and gritted his teeth. "If Brother Sword Lord doesn't attack, I'm prepared to attack too. This kid is too arrogant. He's not strong, but he's so arrogant. He doesn't take us brothers seriously at all." Hearing this, Sword Lord patted Wang Mang's shoulder and chuckled. "Brother, just wait for my good news." With that, Sword Lord watched Wang Mang enter the godly devil palace. Then, he looked coldly at the palace where Lu Sun was. At the same time, after entering the palace, Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi and Enlon were speechless. This was the first time they saw Wang Mang acting like a lackey. Indeed, their lord had the potential and talent to be a lackey. Of course, they also knew that Wang Mang would never be willing to be inferior to others. This was because Wang Mang had chosen to join the sacred ground to become the saint. At this time, Onyx Emperor could not help but raise his head and grin. "Master, I didn't realize that you had the talent to be a lackey." Hearing this, Wang Mang's face instantly darkened. He glared at Onyx Emperor and said helplessly, "There's no way. The competition for the position of the saint in the sacred ground is too fierce. If I don't take out the mask of the immortal emperor, I probably won't stand a chance. Moreover, this is under the condition that they don't have any trump cards." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Heavenly Emperor Wu Shi and Enlon nodded. They did not expect that the saint of a super sacred ground would need the strength of a sage emperor. At this time, Enlon could not help but complain. "Master, why are you so insistent on becoming the saint? Wasn't it better for us to be carefree in Greenwood City?" Enlon's complaint was mainly due to the fact that he had indeed been angered quite a bit on the way here. Especially when he had joined the sacred ground, he had been humiliated at the first sacred ground. Now that he had successfully joined the sacred ground, the competition to become the saint was still fierce. Based on the current situation, even their master did not have a high chance of becoming the saint of a sacred ground. Hearing this, Wang Mang could not help but sigh. He was about to comfort Enlon. At this time, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Detected the host's current situation. The host is given the following mission to choose from. Mission 1. Bring people to the cave of 10,000 demons and kill at least one competitor for the position of saint. Mission time, available upon completion. Mission reward, 500 million energy points. Immortal Level Blind Box X1. Mission 2. Bring people to the cave of 10,000 demons and kill at least 3 competitors for the position of saint. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 1 billion energy points. Immortal Level Blind Box X1. Mission 3. Bring people to the cave of 10,000 demons and kill all competitors for the position of saint. Mission time. Available upon completion. Mission reward. 2 billion energy points. Immortal Level Blind Box X1. Immortal Level Treasure Box X1. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned. He did not expect the system to encourage him to do this. Obviously, the system also knew that it was very easy for him to become the saint with his own strength. Therefore, it had given him such a mission to encourage him to be unscrupulous. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly felt a rush of excitement, because the system had even found a place for him to kill. He only needed to trick people into entering the cave of 10,000 demons. Chapter 664. It could be said that the system was just short of feeding Wang Mang. Therefore, Wang Mang was naturally tempted. Therefore, Wang Mang was now in a dilemma. How many should he kill? The first mission was to kill a competitor for the position of Holy Sun. The reward was too little, and Wang Mang was obviously not interested. Moreover, killing a competitor for the position of Holy Sun would not be of much help to him. Therefore, he did not consider the first mission. Wang Mang should consider the second and third missions. The rewards for both missions were not bad, especially the third mission. However, Wang Mang was still a little wary. After all, if he killed all the competitors for the position of Holy Sun, it would be too obvious. By then, even a fool would be able to tell that there was something wrong. At this point, Wang Mang finally decided to choose the second mission. He only wanted to kill the 3 strongest competitors. At this point, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, I choose the second mission." The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully chosen the mission. Please complete the mission as soon as possible to receive the reward." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang immediately relaxed. Previously, when he joined the holy ground of 10,000 demons, he had no idea how to obtain the position of Holy Sun. However, it was different now. He only needed to kill these strongest competitors within a month, and he would be able to become the Holy Sun of the holy ground of 10,000 demons. At this point, Wang Mang was in a good mood and immediately began to think about how to kill these people. If he wanted to lure these guys to leave the holy ground of 10,000 demons obediently and go to the cave of 10,000 demons, he had to lure them with benefits. As for the temptation, Wang Mang had already thought about it. He only needed to spread the news in the city of 10,000 demons that there was a tomb of an emperor god in the cave of 10,000 demons. This would definitely attract the interest of many strong people. Even the 3 holy sons of the holy ground of 10,000 demons would definitely be interested. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang immediately told Enlon and Boundless Heavenly Emperor about this. He also told them the exact location of the cave of 10,000 demons. The cave of 10,000 demons was actually located in a mountain range near the city of 10,000 demons. When Wang Mang had chosen the quest, the system had informed him about it. After hearing Wang Mang's words, Wu Shi and Enlon looked at each other. Then, they nodded at Wang Mang and said, "Don't worry, my lord. Leave this to us. We'll do a good job." Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded in satisfaction and warned, "Remember, don't ever enter the myriad demons' cave." The 2 of them nodded in agreement before leaving the all-demons holy land. Because the 2 of them were Wang Mang's subordinates, it was very convenient for them to enter and exit the 10,000 demons holy land. Not only Wang Mang, but basically anyone who had reached the level of an inner disciple could enter and exit the 10,000 demons holy land at will. After the 2 of them left, Wang Mang suppressed his impatience and waited patiently. However, to Wang Mang's surprise, early the next morning, The entire all demons holy land was discussing the cave of 10,000 demons. It was said that someone had discovered the tomb of an emperor god in the cave of 10,000 demons. When the news spread, the entire all demons holy land was in an uproar. Moreover, Sword Noble immediately found Wang Mang and asked Wang Mang if he was willing to go to the cave of 10,000 demons to search for opportunities. After knowing the purpose of Sword Noble's visit, Wang Mang was shocked. News about Enlon and Boundless Heavenly Emperor spread too quickly, didn't it? It had only been a day. How did the news spread so quickly? Although Wang Mang was extremely happy that the two of them had spread the news, he still pretended to be confused and asked, "What's the cave of 10,000 demons?" Hearing this, Sword Sovereign slowly explained. The so-called cave of 10,000 demons is said to be the tomb of a peak emperor god. It's said that only early-stage emperor gods are allowed to enter. As for mid-stage emperor gods or late-stage emperor gods, they can't enter at all. Moreover, just yesterday, it said that someone obtained a rank 5 supreme treasure in the cave of 10,000 demons called the demonic crown. This rank 5 supreme treasure is extremely heaven-defying. It's said that once a rank 5 user wears it, they can cross 2 small realms and become a peerless genius. It can be said that their battle strength is monstrous. After hearing Sword Noble's words, Wang Mang was stunned. Demonic crown? That thing really existed? Or was it made up by Boundless Heavenly Emperor and Enlon? For a moment, Wang Mang was confused. Seeing Wang Mang's stunned expression, Sword Noble immediately chuckled and said, "Demonic crown? There are too few rank 5 supreme treasures like the demonic crown. When the supreme tomb opened back then, there were only 8 rank 5 supreme treasures." Sword Noble suddenly said regretfully, "It's a pity that I missed the supreme tomb when I was in seclusion back then. Otherwise, if I had obtained a rank 5 supreme treasure, who would be able to compete with me for the position of Holy Sun in the Holy Land of 10,000 demons?" Hearing that, Wang Mang was even more confused. Sword Noble would definitely not say something like that if he did not have accurate information. Then, there was only one possibility, and that was that an expert really obtained the so-called demonic crown in the cave of 10,000 demons. Thinking of that, Wang Mang was even more confused. Wasn't that a place of certain death? How could someone obtain benefits comparable to the mask of the Celestial Emperor? Thinking of that, Wang Mang immediately asked in his heart, "System, what's going on?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Warm reminder to the host. There are emperor gods in the cave of 10,000 demons. The reason why there are survivors is that they are deliberately released alive to attract more people to enter." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang finally understood. At the same time, he could not help but feel his hair stand on end. If he did not know about it, Wang Mang would probably have the idea of entering it. At that time, Wang Mang's fate would definitely not be any better. After all, it was a rank 5 supreme treasure. Such a temptation was too great. Once he had it, he would become a peerless genius. Although he did borrow the power of the treasure, it was still very powerful. To many experts, this was a fatal attraction. At the same time, Wang Mang finally understood. This news was not spread by No Beginning or Enlon. On the contrary, this news was deliberately released by the old monster in the cave of 10,000 demons. Perhaps it was to attract more people to enter and die, or to become the old monster's nourishment. Just as Wang Mang was feeling scared, Sword Noble looked at Wang Mang hesitantly and asked, "How about it, Brother Wang Mang? Are you also interested in the cave of 10,000 demons?" Wang Mang came back to his senses. Then, he rolled his eyes and said in a tempting tone, "Brother Sword Noble, you can't miss out on such a place where you can obtain great opportunities. Brother Sword Noble, think about it. The battle for the Son of Saint is in a month. If you can obtain the opportunities, how can Zunlong and Gu Yuan be your match?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, Sword Noble also looked like he was about to make a move, but his eyes were a little conflicted. Then, Sword Noble looked at Wang Mang with a conflicted expression and said in a low voice, "Brother Wang Mang, to be honest, I don't know why, but when you mention the cave of 10,000 demons, I feel a strong sense of uneasiness." Hearing Sword Noble's words, Wang Mang was shocked. Damn, isn't his intuition too accurate? Chapter 665. Although Wang Mang was wary of this fellow's intuition, he did not bat an eyelid. "Brother Sword Sovereign, I'm quite interested in this 10,000 demons cave. As for the feeling of change that Brother Sword Sovereign mentioned, it's complete nonsense. We've already reached stage 5. How can these non-existent things affect us? Besides, how can one not take risks to obtain an opportunity? How can there be such a good thing in the world?" After listening to Wang Mang's words, Sword Sovereign, who was originally full of worries, nodded slowly. He was moved by Wang Mang's last sentence. That's right. How could one not take risks to obtain an opportunity? How could there be so many good things waiting for him in the world? Besides, he had been cultivating for so long. Along the way, he had encountered countless dangers. He believed that even if it was dangerous, he would be able to survive it. With this thought, Sword Sovereign decided that he had to go to the 10,000 Demons Cave. In addition, he was worried that if he didn't go, Zunlong and Gu Yuan would go and obtain something. Then his position as the Holy Son of the 10,000 Demons' Holy Land would be unstable. At this moment, Wang Mang also took the opportunity to tempt him. "Brother Sword Sovereign, if you obtain an opportunity, the position of Holy Son will be yours." Sword Sovereign was silent for a moment before he said firmly, "Okay, it's decided. There's no time like the present. Today you and I will head to the 10,000 Demons Cave." After saying that, Sword Sovereign looked at Wang Mang. Wang Mang immediately smiled and said, "I'll accompany Brother Sword Sovereign." Sword Sovereign nodded and said, "I'll go back to the main hall first and prepare. You and I will gather at the entrance of the 10,000 Demons' Holy Land later." "No problem." Wang Mang immediately nodded with a smile. Soon, Sword Sovereign left Wang Mang's Demon God Palace. Similarly, Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat, and then he said softly, "Spring flower, summer flower." Outside the main hall, two pretty maids walked up and respectfully said, "Your servant is here. After I leave, go out and spread the news. I must let the other participants know that Sword Sovereign and I are heading to the Myriad Demons Cave." Although they didn't know why Wang Mang wanted to do this, the two maids still respectfully and obediently said, "It's Lord's order." Only then did Wang Mang nod his head in satisfaction. He then waved his hand to indicate that the two of them could leave. After that, Wang Mang left the demonic God Palace and rushed out of the 10,000 Devils' Holy Land. Along the way, many core disciples and inner disciples took the initiative to greet Wang Mang when they saw him. It was obvious that they were trying to curry favor with him. This was because they already knew that Wang Mang had joined the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Moreover, he was also one of the participants in the competition for the position of the Holy Son. This kind of status was not something they could compare to. Even if Wang Mang failed in the competition for the position of the Son of Saint and became a candidate for the position of the Son of Saint, or even if he failed in the competition for the position of the Son of Saint, his status was still higher than theirs. This was because Wang Mang would become an elder in the future if nothing unexpected happened. The elders of the 10,000 Devils' Holy Land could be said to be the backbone of the upper echelons of the 10,000 Devils' Holy Land. Of course, these people were trying to curry favor with him. Wang Mang kept a straight face and looked incomparably cold, as if he didn't want anyone to get close to him. After all, Wang Mang had never taken these ant-like existences seriously. In other words, these people were of no use to Wang Mang. So why bother with these trash? Did he have nothing to do and waste time? After arriving at the entrance of the 10,000 Devils' Holy Land, Wang Mang saw Sword Sovereign standing with his hands behind his back, waiting for him. At this moment, a silver sword appeared in Sword Sovereign's hand, and he held it tightly in his hand. After seeing Wang Mang, Sword Sovereign smiled and said, "Let's go, Brother Wang Mang." Hearing that, Wang Mang nodded and flew down the Thousand Demons Mountain with Sword Sovereign. After leaving the Thousand Demons Mountain, Wang Mang and Sword Sovereign came to the Thousand Demons City. At this moment, in the huge Thousand Demons City, Wang Mang and Sword Sovereign were walking side by side. Now, they needed to pass through the Thousand Demons City and head to the largest mountain range near the Thousand Demons City, which was the Thousand Demons Mountain Range. This was because the Thousand Demons Cave was in the Thousand Demons Mountain Range. But at this moment, Wang Mang suddenly saw a mocking voice in front of him. "Red-haired brat, crawl under my crotch and I'll let you go. Otherwise, don't even think about leaving the Thousand Demons City in this lifetime. Otherwise, it will be the day of your death." Hearing that, Wang Mang looked up instinctively and didn't pay much attention. But when he saw an angry black-robed figure standing in front of a young master, Wang Mang was stunned. This black-robed figure was none other than the former demon Lord Chong Lu. Not only that, the current demon Lord Chong Lu's cultivation had reached the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm. However, Wang Mang could sense it after sensing it for a while. The current demon Lord Chong Lu's cultivation wasn't high. He was only at the second heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. But facing the humiliation of the young master in front of him, he was furious but didn't dare to say anything. This was because Wang Mang could sense that there was an elder in the late stage of the Immortal Emperor realm behind the young master. After pondering for a while, Wang Mang decided to help the demon Lord Chong Lu. He had no enmity with this guy, and he was summoned by him back then. Strictly speaking, he had actually helped Wang Mang once. Thinking of this, Wang Mang said softly, "Chong Lu." Sword Sovereign was stunned. He stopped and looked at Wang Mang in confusion. Wang Mang explained softly, "Brother Sword Sovereign, wait, I met an old acquaintance." Hearing this, the Sword Sovereign immediately nodded. At the same time, Demon Lord Chong Lu, who was furious, suddenly saw Wang Mang not far away. After seeing Wang Mang, Demon Lord Chong Lu was stunned. His eyes were filled with astonishment. Obviously, he had recognized Wang Mang, but he didn't expect Wang Mang to have reached the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm. Wang Mang hadn't even reached the rank 4 Immortal Emperor realm back then. But how long had it been? Wang Mang had reached the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm. Furthermore, he had left him far behind. Thinking of this, Demon Lord Chong Lu felt bitter. After coming to the Holy Land continent for so long, he had gradually smoothed out his edges in the Holy Land continent. The Holy Land continent was too powerful. It was so powerful that it made people feel hopeless. There were as many rank 4 Immortal Emperors as there were dogs. There were rank 5 Immortal Emperors everywhere. Even if he had broken through to the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm, he could only be considered an expert and not a top expert. Ever since he escaped from his family's mining area, he was lucky enough to obtain an opportunity and successfully broke through to the rank 5 Immortal Emperor realm. But after coming to the City of Demons, he offended the son of the City Lord and was trapped in the City of Demons for a long time. After seeing Wang Mang, Demon Lord Chong Lu lowered his arrogant head and couldn't help but sigh, "Friend, save me." Hearing this, Wang Mang was so surprised that he almost thought that he had heard wrongly. He didn't expect that Demon Lord Chong Lu, who was once arrogant, would ask him for help. However, just as Wang Mang was stunned, the white-clothed young master with a folding fan coldly threatened, "You are not worthy of my respect. Friend, you'd better mind your own business. Be careful not to bring death upon yourself." Chapter 666. To be honest, if he hadn't sensed Wang Mang and Sword Noble's extraordinary temperament and terrifying aura, he wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have wasted his breath on Wang Mang and Sword Noble, because his father was the City Lord of Myriad Demon City. The City Lord of Myriad Demon City, who was able to become one of the top 10 City Lords in the Eastern Heaven Realm. His father was naturally not an ordinary person. His strength had reached the God Emperor level. Even the servant behind him had reached the late stage of the Immortal Emperor level. From this, it could be seen how noble his status as the son of the city lord of myriad demon city was. At this moment, facing the threat of the city lord's son, a trace of coldness flashed across Sword Noble's eyes. However, he obviously knew this young master in front of him. He immediately frowned and transmitted his voice to Wang Mang. "Brother Wang Mang, if you can avoid provoking this guy, it's better not to." His father is a God Emperor level expert. Even on the God Emperor level expert list, he's a well-known existence. After hearing Sword Noble's transmission, Wang Mang suddenly hesitated. No wonder Demon Lord Chong Lu, a rank 5 Immortal Emperor level expert, was forced to kneel and crawl under a young master's pants. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly sympathized with Demon Lord Chong Lu. However, at the same time, Wang Mang also began to consider whether to save Demon Lord Chong Lu. After all, if he saved Demon Lord Chong Lu, the benefits and the sacrifice couldn't be proportional. Offending a descendant of a God Emperor level expert wasn't a wise choice. Just as Wang Mang was silent, the young master suddenly laughed. He could tell that Wang Mang and Sword Noble definitely knew him. Thinking of this, the young master smiled playfully. "Look, I'm giving your friend a chance. As long as he crawls under my crotch, I'll let him go." Speaking of this, the young master suddenly looked at Wang Mang and Sword Noble and chuckled. "Of course, you can also help him. Crawling under my crotch is fine too." Hearing this, Wang Mang was so angry that he laughed. This was the first time he met a so-called second generation. This guy's face was really not much different from the arrogant second generation back on Earth. He was clearly not strong and was only at the early stage of the Immortal Emperor realm, but he was exceptionally arrogant. Most importantly, Wang Mang really didn't dare to touch him, unless he became the son of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Only his identity could possibly match this fellow's. Otherwise, Wang Mang really had a way to contend with this young master. This was because if he really killed this young master without the backing of God Emperor, he would definitely die, unless he became the holy son of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. At that time, no matter what he did, as long as he did not openly betray the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, the 10,000 Demons Holy Land would become his backer and protect him with all their might. However, the problem was that he wasn't a holy son yet. So, facing this guy's humiliation, Wang Mang couldn't do anything even though he was angry. At the same time, Sword King's expression didn't look too good either. "I hope you can continue to be so arrogant." Young Master Gu grinned and said playfully, "What can you do to me?" In the face of such humiliation, Sword King remained indifferent. He then waved his hand at Demon Lord Chong Lu. "Come over. For the sake of Brother Wang Mang, I'll help you." Demon Lord Chong Lu's eyes lit up when he heard that. He walked over without hesitation and cupped his hands. "Thank you for your help." Seeing this, Feng Tianhu was stunned. His face instantly stiffened and turned ugly. Obviously, Sword King's action was a direct slap to his face. At the same time, he was blatantly telling him, "What can you do to me?" In his fury, young Master Gu roared with a ferocious expression. "Anu, kill them for me." Hearing that, the old servant behind Feng Tianhu was helpless and reminded him softly, "Young Master, the two of them are even stronger than this old servant. That brat is holding a sword, and his strength is at the level of a holy emperor." Feng Tianhu's expression froze. He angrily slapped the old servant and said coldly, "What are you waiting for? I want the three of them to die. Go to the city lord's mansion and find someone to kill them. Tell them that I said so. If you don't kill them, you'll be the one to die." After saying that, Feng Tianhu looked coldly at Wang Mang and the other two. Then, he turned around and left angrily. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang immediately felt a burst of laughter. This guy was truly insufferably arrogant. At this moment, Sword King did not want to waste any more time and said, "Brother Wang Mang, let's go." Wang Mang nodded and left the City of Demons with Sword King. Similarly, Demon Lord Chong Lu followed closely behind. However, not long after Wang Mang left the City of Demons and entered the Demons Mountain Range, he felt that someone was following them. Similarly, Sword King also noticed that. He gripped his sword tightly and said coldly, "Come out." Just as he said that, 3 figures appeared in the sky. The auras of these 3 figures were extremely powerful and terrifying. Without exception, these 3 figures were all middle-aged men, but their auras were at the level of a holy emperor. One of them was even at the level of a middle-stage holy emperor. When he saw the 3 Saint Emperors, he was shocked. Sword King's face suddenly became serious. Similarly, Wang Mang's face did not look too good either. This was because he did not expect the so-called young master of the City of Demons to be so powerful. However, after thinking about it, Wang Mang felt relieved. After all, the other party had an emperor god as a father. It was normal for him to have holy emperors as subordinates. However, even if there was only one middle-stage holy emperor, Wang Mang would not be able to handle it. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately sent a voice transmission. "Brother Sword King, let's meet at the Demon Cave. Demon Lord, remember to run away later. Run faster. If you can't escape, quickly teleport back to Earth." Sword King nodded slightly. Similarly, the Demon Lord nodded slightly. "If you die, don't blame us. Blame yourself for offending someone you shouldn't have." At this moment, the leading middle-stage Holy Emperor looked at Wang Mang and Sword King indifferently. After saying that, the middle-stage Holy Land expert directly attacked Sword King. This was because he could feel that Sword King was the strongest among the 3 of them. Because of this, he did not hesitate to attack Sword King. Similarly, after seeing the middle-aged man attack, Wang Mang immediately fled at the first possible moment. Not only Wang Mang, but the Demon Lord also did the same. The 3 of them could be said to have fled in different directions. The only thing that made Wang Mang feel relieved was that the expert who attacked him was only at the first heaven of the Holy Emperor realm. This kind of strength was not a threat to Wang Mang at all. It was probably because he saw that Wang Mang was too weak. Otherwise, the middle-stage Immortal Emperor realm expert would not be chasing after Sword King, but him. However, Wang Mang did not escape for long before he heard Sword King's painful scream from afar. It was a mournful and painful scream. It immediately shocked Wang Mang. Could it be that Sword King was already in trouble? What the F***CK? It can't be, right? Could it be that he really died? I haven't tricked him yet. Chapter 667. Just as Wang Mang was dumbfounded, a shout came from behind him. An angry roar came from behind. "Brat, don't run if you have the ability." After coming back to his senses, Wang Mang immediately sneered. Immediately, he took a step into the space and rapidly flew away. Similarly, Wang Mang was escaping in the direction of the cave of 10,000 demons. If this guy dared to continue chasing him, Wang Mang wouldn't mind killing him in the space. After escaping for a while, Wang Mang was shocked to find that this guy was still following him closely. Not only that, he even shouted angrily behind him, "Little brat, stop and fight me if you dare. You're a peerless genius. Don't you even have the courage to fight me?" Facing this guy's curses, Wang Mang was still escaping at full speed. At the same time, Wang Mang didn't forget to look back at the middle-aged man who was following him closely. If this guy continued to chase after him without any help, he would be in a bad situation. Wang Mang didn't mind stopping his escape. He turned around and killed him. After observing for a while, Wang Mang immediately realized that this guy really didn't have any help. He was still chasing him alone. This caused Wang Mang's killing intent to soar. In the next moment, Wang Mang instantly took out the Immortal Emperor mask from his space. Then, Wang Mang stopped running and instantly turned around to attack the middle-aged man in the early stage of the Holy Emperor stage. Seeing this, the middle-aged man in the early stage of the Holy Emperor stage was stunned at first. Then he sneered and said, "Let me send you on your way." After saying that, the middle-aged man also rushed toward Wang Mang. He raised his hand and a vast amount of immortal chi gathered into a long whip and lashed toward Wang Mang. Wang Mang immediately sneered and easily dodged the long whip. At the same time, Wang Mang's hands made a circle and purple lightning flowed all over his body. Then, Wang Mang struck out with his palm and shouted angrily, "Mighty dragon of heaven!" As soon as he said that, Wang Mang's terrifying lightning and magic power gathered into a black lightning dragon and swept out. Seeing this black lightning dragon sweeping over, the middle-aged man lashed out with his whip with all his strength. Scatter! Unfortunately, when he lashed out with all his strength, it didn't have much effect on Wang Mang's lightning dragon. On the contrary, the black lightning dragon seemed to be angered by the whip. It bared its fangs and claws as it pounced forward. Seeing this, the middle-aged man's expression changed drastically. He quickly dodged the black lightning dragon. But in the next moment, something that made him even more terrified. He saw that the black lightning dragon was still following closely behind him. Not only that, its speed was getting faster and faster. No matter how he dodged, he still couldn't escape from the lightning too. This made the middle-aged man was in a sorry state. He could feel that this black lightning dragon was very powerful. Furthermore, he had definitely reached the first heavenly layer of Saint Emperor. What made him even more terrified was that Wang Mang's strength had also reached the first heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. This meant that Wang Mang had been hiding his strength all along. Even if the two of them fought normally, it was unknown whether they would survive. Thinking of this, the middle-aged man regretted. If he knew this would happen, he wouldn't have been so arrogant and chased after Wang Mang for so long. He should have just said it directly. After all, they were all immortal emperors. Even the young master wouldn't dare to do anything to them, because, to put it bluntly, they were all subordinates of the city lord of myriad demons. However, now that he had chased after Wang Mang, there was a possibility that he might lose his life. But at this moment, the terrifying lightning dragon suddenly sped up and crashed into his chest. Puffed. He spat out a mouthful of blood. The middle-aged man was instantly sent flying. His face was extremely pale, and his hair was disheveled. He looked like a madman. Similarly, he turned around and ran without hesitation. He had no intention of fighting with Wang Mang at all, because Wang Mang's aura was too terrifying. It was even stronger than his aura. Because of this, if he continued to fight, he definitely wouldn't be Wang Mang's match. Seeing the guy trying to run away, Wang Mang instantly sneered and used the Hand of the Void. The middle-aged immortal emperor who was running away was instantly grabbed by a giant hand that appeared out of nowhere. At the same time, this guy couldn't help but let out a scream. But very soon, a terrifying power exploded from his body, and he instantly broke free from the Hand of the Void. But before he could escape, the terrifying lightning dragon instantly appeared in front of him. Seeing this, the middle-aged immortal emperor couldn't help but scream in fear, "No!" At the same time, he instantly used all the power in his body to condense a terrifying air wall in an attempt to block the lightning dragon's attack. Unfortunately, in the next moment, the lightning dragon instantly broke through the air wall and grabbed him with its dragon claws. Seeing this, Wang Mang instantly transformed into a huge body. He opened his bloody mouth and swallowed this guy. At the same time, the huge lightning dragon instantly turned into a terrifying amount of power and rushed into Wang Mang's body. In the next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully devoured a first heaven of Holy Emperor." "Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully obtained 30 million energy points." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang couldn't help but be overjoyed. The only thing that Wang Mang felt a little regretful was that the reward for devouring a holy emperor was too little. After shaking his head, Wang Mang stopped thinking about it and immediately rushed to the cave of 10,000 demons. 2 hours later, Wang Mang successfully arrived near the cave of 10,000 demons. It was worth mentioning that when Wang Mang arrived near the cave of 10,000 demons, he saw many experts rushing into the cave of 10,000 demons. But what made Wang Mang a little confused was, where did Sir Noble go? At this moment, Wang Mang heard a familiar and weak voice. "Brother Wang Mang, I'm here." Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately looked sideways. In the distant forest, Sword Noble appeared in front of him with a pale face. He looked very haggard and weak. It was obvious that he was seriously injured. After seeing Sword Noble, Wang Meng immediately rushed forward and asked with a worried face, "Brother Sword Noble, what's going on?" Hearing this, Sword Noble's face immediately turned pale, and he smiled bitterly. "Sigh, I'm already seriously injured. If I don't have powerful healing pills, I'm afraid I won't be able to recover for a few months. So, I have to go back and recover as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will affect the competition for the position of saint." Wang Meng was shocked when he heard the Sword Sovereign's words. He carefully sensed the Sword Sovereign. He found that Sword Noble's aura was indeed very unstable. It was obvious that he was seriously injured. For a moment, Wang Meng's eyes flickered. At the same time, killing intent gradually rose in his heart. It was impossible for him to let Sword Noble go. It was even more impossible for him to go back and recover. But before he made a move, to be on the safe side, Wang Meng decided to wait until he figured out the situation. Therefore, Wang Meng couldn't help but ask with a worried expression, "Brother Sword Noble, are you really not going to enter the cave of 10,000 demons?" Hearing this, Sword Noble's face turned pale, and he said helplessly, "Brother, I can't even unleash the strength of a holy emperor. Don't talk about entering the cave of 10,000 demons. I have to go back and heal as soon as possible. In addition, Brother Wang Meng, please help me stall Gu Yuan and Zun Long. If they want to enter the cave of 10,000 demons, try to stall them. It's best if they can't enter the cave of 10,000 demons." Chapter 668. Wang Meng was speechless when he heard that. "F*CK, I'm going to kill you. How dare you order me around?" Moreover, how could Wang Meng stop them? He couldn't wait for Zun Long and Gu Yuan to enter the myriad demon cave. Wang Meng sneered in his heart, but on the surface, he said righteously, "Brother Sword Noble, don't worry. I'll do my best." "Thank you, brother." The pale-faced Sword Noble nodded and prepared to leave. However, what he didn't know was that Wang Meng had already taken out the Immortal Emperor mask and put it on his face. At the same time, a sword appeared in his hand. It was the divine martial sword. Then, Wang Meng attacked and slashed at Sword Noble's head from behind. However, Sword Noble was indeed a peerless genius. His reaction speed was extremely fast, and he reacted instantly. He subconsciously retreated and dodged the sword by a hair's breadth. Then he looked at Wang Meng in shock and anger and said in disbelief, "Brother Wang Meng, why are you doing this?" At the same time, he looked at the mask on Wang Meng's face in shock. Wang Meng grinned when he heard that. "Your reaction is quite fast. Why did you attack me?" Sir Noble didn't answer the question and asked angrily. Wang Meng shrugged helplessly. "You can't blame me for this. I'm also determined to get the position of saint." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Meng raised his divine martial sword and attacked again. Moreover, Wang Meng's speed became faster and faster. He was like a shadow as he charged at Sword Noble and used his killing moves. Although Sword Noble wasn't slow, he was seriously injured. The sword wounds on his body began to increase. In just a short while, Sword Noble had already been hit dozens of times. His body was covered in wounds and blood. At the same time, Sword Lord was also furious. He looked at Wang Meng with a face full of resentment. "You really are a cruel and unscrupulous person. I treat you like a brother, but you're so cruel. You're trying to kill me." Wang Meng didn't care about Sword Noble's curses. "Brother Sword Noble, why do you have to do this? Why don't you just stand there and let me give you some pain?" Sword Noble immediately sneered. "Do you think it'll be fine if you kill me? The myriad demon sacred land has god-level experts. It's easy for them to deduce this. Even if you kill me, you won't be able to hide it." Wang Meng grinned and said, "The 10,000 demons' holy land only has a rule that forbids killing one another within the holy land. There's no rule that forbids killing one another outside. Thus, even if I kill you today, I will not violate the rules of the 10,000 devil holy land." After he finished saying those words, Wang Meng's killing intent soared, and he unleashed an all-out attack without holding back. The first firmament of the Saint Emperor realm forced Sword Noble to dodge. His injuries were getting worse and worse. In the end, Sword Noble had nowhere to hide under Wang Mang's divine ability. He was grabbed by Wang Mang's hand of the void and couldn't struggle. At that moment, Sword Sovereign's face twisted as he looked at Wang Mang, who was rushing over with his sword raised. He looked at Wang Mang with resentment and cursed, "I'm just one step ahead of you. You bastard, you'll follow in my footsteps sooner or later." Wang Mang was expressionless. He pierced Sword Noble's chest and pulled out his sword. Looking at the lifeless Sword Sovereign, Wang Mang's upper body transformed into a giant python and swallowed him into its bloody mouth. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a supreme prodigy. Obtained 30 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host. Obtained 1 talent point. Note: when you have a certain amount of talent points, you can increase your aptitude. Note: talent points can be obtained by devouring prodigies." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang, who was originally sad, couldn't help but be stunned. What the hell was talent points? Out of curiosity, Wang Mang began to ask the system. However, when Wang Mang found out about his talent, he immediately became excited. Because the talent points were too heaven-defying, it could increase one's aptitude. For example, as long as he obtained enough talent points, he could increase his aptitude. However, the only drawback of obtaining the talent points was that he had to kill enough geniuses. For example, devouring a supreme prodigy could give him 1 talent point. To become a supreme prodigy, he needed 3 talent points. Devouring a supreme prodigy could give him 10 talent points. To become a supreme prodigy, he needed 30 talent points. Devouring a supreme prodigy could give him 50 talent points. To become a supreme prodigy, he needed 150 talent points. Devouring a young legendary prodigy could give him 100 talent points. To become a young legendary prodigy, he needed 300 talent points. Devouring a young legendary prodigy could give him 500 talent points. To become a young legendary prodigy, he needed 1,500 talent points. Devouring a young supreme prodigy could give him 5,000 talent points. To become a young supreme prodigy, he needed 15,000 talent points. It could be said that the talent points directly gave Wang Mang away to become a stronger prodigy. If Wang Mang hadn't killed a supreme prodigy, he wouldn't know how to become a stronger prodigy. At this time, Wang Mang seemed to have thought of something and couldn't help but ask in his heart, "System, what about other people hunting prodigies?" The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. Warm reminder to the host. When other people hunt other prodigies, they can also obtain talent points. Ding. After killing enough prodigies, other prodigies can also become stronger prodigies. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang suddenly understood. At the same time, he felt a little restless. This was because not all prodigies knew about this. Otherwise, prodigies would probably go crazy when they saw other prodigies. After all, as long as they killed a certain number of prodigies, they could become a stronger prodigy. If this news were to spread, the other prodigies in the Sacred Emperor continent would definitely go crazy. At the same time, Wang Mang's murderous intent surged. He decided that from now on, he would hunt more supreme prodigies. Once he had the chance, Wang Mang wouldn't mind killing more. That's right. This was especially true for the weaker geniuses. For example, those participants in the sacred ground of 10,000 demons. Wang Mang didn't have the confidence to kill Gu Yuan and Zun Long. However, Wang Mang was confident about the rest of the sacred ground candidates. Moreover, these candidates were also supreme prodigies. If he could kill them, he would definitely obtain a lot of talent points. If he killed enough of them, he could also become a supreme prodigy. Chapter 669. With that thought in mind, Wang Mang decided to stay near the 10,000 Demons Cave. If more peerless geniuses appeared in the 10,000 Demons Cave, then he wouldn't mind killing them. Thinking of this, Wang Mang put away the immortal emperor's mask. At that moment, a surprised voice was heard. "Fellow Taoist, why are you here? Didn't you enter the 10,000 demons cave with Sword Sovereign?" Hearing those words, Wang Mang raised his head and saw 7 young men with powerful auras standing there. Wang Mang had seen one of them before. It was none other than Lu Sun, who was from the same faction as Wang Mang. The other 6 people were also wearing the exclusive uniform of the 10,000 demons' sacred land. They were all peerless geniuses. After seeing these 7 fellows, Wang Mang was instantly astonished. He even suspected that all the candidates for the successor of the 10,000 demons' sacred land were here. However, that was indeed the case. As for the person who spoke to Wang Mang, it was a young man who looked extremely cultured and elegant. He had a smile on his face and gave off a refreshing feeling. It was completely different from Wang Mang's dark and cold aura. Similarly, this cultured and elegant young man's aura was also very terrifying. It was even more terrifying than Sword Sovereign's. At that moment, he was looking at Wang Mang with a faint smile. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang couldn't help but ask softly, "Fellow Taoist, how should I address you?" Hearing this, the cultured and elegant man smiled and said, "You can call me Zun Long." Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes flickered. So this kid is Zun Long. He is indeed someone that even Sword Sovereign is not confident in dealing with. This was because Wang Mang felt an extremely dangerous aura from Zun Long. It was much more threatening than the one Sword Sovereign gave him back then. "You are Sword Sovereign's lackey, right? Where is your master, Sword Sovereign?" At that moment, an arrogant young man with his arms crossed in front of him asked indifferently. Hearing this, Wang Mang's eyes flashed with killing intent, but he still smiled and said, "Sword Sovereign has already returned to the 10,000 demons' sacred land. He said that there is a great danger in the myriad demons' cave, so he just returned. He also asked me to pass on a message to all of you. You must not enter the myriad demons' cave." Although Wang Mang made up this sentence, he really didn't lie to them. Would Wang Mang be so kind as to tell them the truth? On the contrary, Wang Mang said that on purpose. That was because Wang Mang himself wanted to lure them in. He only needed to do the opposite, and these fellows would only treat his words as nonsense. Or perhaps it was the Sword Sovereign who had asked Wang Mang to stay behind and interfere with their entry into the myriad demons' cave. As expected, after hearing Wang Mang's words, the arrogant young man sneered, "Do you really think I, Gu Yuan, am a fool? If I'm not wrong, Tiger, Sword King intentionally left you behind to delay us from entering the cave." Hearing that, a trace of panic appeared on Wang Mang's face, but he quickly calmed down and persuaded. "Everyone, I'm telling the truth. Please don't make a mistake." Gu Yuan sneered and said, "Let's go. This kid wants to delay us? He's overestimating himself." After saying that, Gu Yuan prepared to walk into the myriad demons' cave without looking back. Wang Mang immediately went forward to stop him and persuaded earnestly, "Fellow Taoist, please believe me. I really didn't lie to you. I have a premonition that there is a great danger in the myriad demons' cave." Hearing that, Gu Yuan sneered and said, "Get lost. Don't make me do it." After saying that, Gu Yuan walked towards Wang Mang step by step. His eyes were very sharp, and the killing intent on his face was undisguised. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's expression changed drastically. Only then did he reluctantly give way. Seeing this, Gu Yuan sneered. Then he instructed the 2 legendary geniuses behind him. "Sword King, this bastard is not bad. The 2 of you stay outside the cave. If other experts want to enter, you 2 will stop them together." Obviously, Gu Yuan wanted to prevent other experts from entering the myriad demons' cave. That was because the more people who entered the myriad demons' cave, the more people would fight for the opportunity. Hearing that, even Zun Long's eyes lit up. Then, he smiled gently and said, "Brothers, 3 of you stay here. My 3 brothers, you should stay behind as well. If you discover anyone trying to enter the myriad demons' cave, stop them if you can." At this point, Zun Long glanced at Wang Mang and said with a faint smile, "After all, This fellow Taoist said that the cave is extremely dangerous. If an ant from the mortal world enters, I'm afraid his life will be in danger. After saying that, Zun Long chuckled and walked with his hands behind his back. He walked side by side with Gu Yuan and walked towards the myriad demons' cave. Seeing this, Wang Mang's face was immediately filled with worry. He looked like he wanted to say something, but hesitated. However, in fact, Wang Mang was already overjoyed. Wasn't this the result that he wanted? After all, Zun Long and Gu Yuan's auras were too strong. Even Sword King had easily escaped the pursuit of a mid-stage sage emperor back then. This also proved that they still had some trump cards. Wang Mang would definitely not be able to take them down when they were at their peak. However, it was different for these legendary geniuses who were left behind. Although they were also peerless geniuses, their strength was not strong enough. The strongest among them was merely a peerless genius at the seventh heaven of the immortal emperor realm. The weakest among them was a fifth heaven immortal emperor peerless genius. With such strength, even if all of them were joined forces, Wang Mang would not be afraid. It could be said that Wang Mang would definitely defeat these 5 legendary geniuses. Even Jesus would not be able to stop them. Wang Mang said it. After watching Gu Yuan and Zun Long enter the myriad demons' cave, Wang Mang could not help but smile. However, Lu Sun happened to see this scene. He saw a strange smile on Wang Mang's face. Lu Sun suddenly had a very bad feeling. At this moment, Wang Mang also happened to see Lu Sun. He saw Lu Sun staring at him with a frown. Wang Mang was a little surprised. Could it be that this guy saw something? Just as Wang Mang was puzzled, Lu Sun said expressionlessly, "Fellow Taoists, I have something to do, so I'll go out for a while." As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Sun turned around and left under the puzzled gazes of the 4 legendary geniuses. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat. Not long after Lu Sun left, he smiled and said, "Senior brothers and junior brothers, I'm going to find something to eat." After saying that, under the dumbfounded gazes of the 4 legendary geniuses, Wang Mang also left. As for why he left, of course it was to kill Lu Sun, because this guy was a legendary genius. Once he killed him, he would be able to obtain talent points. At the same time, on the way back to the myriad demons' sacred land, Lu Sun did not know why. The uneasiness in his heart was getting stronger, especially when he thought of the strange smile on Wang Mang's face. He had a feeling that there was a huge conspiracy hidden in this. At this moment, a chuckle suddenly sounded. "Fellow Taoist, where are you going?" Chapter 670. That chuckle sounded familiar, but when it reached Lu Sun's ears, it made his scalp tingle. The next moment, he looked up and saw a familiar figure in front of him. Wang Mang was wearing a white brocade robe and an immortal emperor mask. He was looking at him with a smile. After seeing Wang Mang, Lu Sun became even more vigilant. If what he said before was just his baseless conjecture, then... But now, he knew that his guess was right, especially when he sensed that Wang Mang was emitting a terrifying aura that made his scalp tingle. Peak first heaven of Saint Emperor. In other words, Wang Mang had been hiding his strength all this time. Thinking of that, Lu Sun felt a chill in his heart. He felt that Wang Mang was too good at hiding his strength. It was too terrifying. He clearly had the strength of a peak first heaven of Saint Emperor. He was not even weaker than Gu Yuan, Zun Long, and Sword King. But he hid himself and was willing to be Sword King's lackey. There was the smell of a conspiracy everywhere. He'd even started to suspect that the Sword Monarch had been killed by Wang Mang. Thinking of that, he could not help but shudder. Then, he looked at Wang Mang in surprise and said in a deep voice, "I never thought that you would hide your strength so well. If I'm not wrong, your strength is not inferior to the 3 of them. Also, this so-called 10,000 demons cave should be a big trap, right? But that doesn't make sense. You can't take out a 5th stage supreme treasure as a trap." Hearing that, Wang Mang immediately looked at Lu Sun in surprise. This kid was not stupid. Previously, Wang Mang had already felt that this kid had guessed something. But now it seemed that this guy had guessed quite a lot. No wonder this brat wanted to run away without saying a word. But after seeing Lu Xun's puzzled look, Wang Mang could not help but feel proud. Then, Wang Mang slowly walked toward Lu Xun and said with a smile, "That's right. That's right. It's true that I can't take out a Tier 5 Supreme Treasure. Let's use a Tier 5 Supreme Treasure that can raise one's cultivation level as a trap. But the Myriad Demon's Cave itself is a trap. These people who enter the Myriad Demon's Cave basically have no chance of coming out alive, because what awaits them is a God Emperor level old monster. Do you think they can come out alive?" After hearing Wang Mang's words, Lu Xun's face was full of shock. At the same time, he looked like he suddenly realized something. "I understand. Back then, the news spread so quickly in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. It was definitely your doing, right? You already knew about the situation in the Myriad Demon's Cave, so you purposely spread the news to lure them here. This way, once you kill Sword Sovereign, Gu Yuan, and Zun Long, no one will be able to match you. The position of Holy Sun will definitely fall into your hands." Wang Mang smiled and nodded. "That's right. The position of Holy Sun is already in my bag. Are you willing to assist me?" As he spoke, Wang Mang's ocean-like, frightening magic power also became berserk. Seeing this, Lu Xun immediately knew. If he rejected Wang Mang would not let him go. This was because he had killed so many peerless geniuses in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. Whether Wang Mang would get the position of Holy Sun was another matter, but he would definitely not have a good ending. Thinking of this, Lu Xun decided to give in for the time being. Lu Xun immediately cupped his hands and said, "I am willing to be Brother Wang Mang's right-hand man." Hearing this, Wang Mang laughed in satisfaction and said, "Good, good, good. Very good." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang suddenly grabbed Lu Xun's neck with one hand. At the same time, Wang Mang hit Lu Xun's head several times with all his might. Puffed. Several mouthfuls of blood spurted out. Lu Xun's face was filled with pain and ferocity. He looked at Wang Mang in shock. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Why do you still want to kill me?" This was because Wang Mang's previous attacks were all aimed at his primordial spirit. Under Wang Mang's sneak attack, his primordial spirit had already been smashed into pieces by the attacks. It could be said that he was definitely going to die now. Hearing this, Wang Mang said expressionlessly, "I can only fulfill my wish by killing you." After saying that, Wang Mang hit him with all his might. The palm hit the top of Lu Xun's head. Rumble. There was a loud explosion. Lu Xun's primordial spirit, which was originally smashed into pieces, completely exploded. At the same time, Lu Xun was bleeding from his pores, and his vitality had completely dissipated. In the next moment, Wang Mang directly transformed into the body of a giant python and swallowed him into his mouth. Then, the system's voice sounded. "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a peerless genius. Obtained 10 million energy value." "Ding! Congratulations, host. Successfully devoured a peerless genius. Obtained 1 talent value." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. Not bad, not bad. Now, he already had a talent of 2 points. He was a small step closer to becoming a peerless genius. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. Then, Wang Mang couldn't help but be tempted again, because outside the cave of 10,000 demons, there were still 4 peerless geniuses. If he killed them all, he could get another 4 talent value. But there was only one thing that made Wang Mang feel a little conflicted. If he really did this, all the peerless geniuses in the Holy Land of 10,000 demons were dead. Wasn't this too obvious? But the problem was 4 talent value. This was really tempting. After hesitating for a while, Wang Mang finally made up his mind. He finally decided to take action. In fact, he could also choose to leave one alive. But if he did this, he might as well kill them all. In addition, if this mission was completed, he would be able to break through a small realm. At that time, the Holy Land of 10,000 demons couldn't just kill him, right? After all, he was already dead. How could a dead person be more valuable than a living person? Thinking of this, Wang Mang's figure moved and rushed toward the cave of 10,000 demons. But at this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! Congratulations, host. Mission successfully completed. Ding! Congratulations, host. Obtained 1 billion energy value. Ding! Congratulations, host. Obtained an immortal king-level blind box. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was immediately stunned. Damn! Did Gu Yuan, Zuanlong die just like that? To be honest, Wang Mang thought that these two guys would definitely die. After all, the system said that there was an Emperor God-level old monster in the cave of 10,000 demons. But he didn't expect that not long after entering the cave of 10,000 demons, the two of them were completely dead. Wasn't this too freaking fast? Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but sigh. Because after he killed the other 4 heavens favorites, he would kill them all. By then, he would be the only legendary prodigy left in the holy land of 10,000 demons. No one would be able to compete with him for the position of the son of Saint. No, there wouldn't even be a competitor. Thinking of this, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel proud. Damn it. So what if you're strong? I'll just use a little trick. Didn't the legendary prodigies still die? Therefore, Wang Mang couldn't help but sigh. The battle for the position of son of Saint hasn't even started yet, but all my opponents are dead. Sigh. It's really lonely at the top. It's so lonely being invincible. Chapter 671. It was not that Wang Mang was bragging. It was really lonely. After all, he did not even have any competitors. After thinking for a while, Wang Mang sighed. Then, Wang Mang immediately turned around and rushed towards the cave of 10,000 demons. An hour later, Wang Mang arrived near the cave of 10,000 demons. However, what surprised Wang Mang was that when he arrived near the cave of 10,000 demons, Wang Mang saw that 5 late-stage immortal emperors were fighting with the geniuses of the cave of 10,000 demons. Moreover, the battle between the two sides had reached its climax. The area within 1,000 miles was a mess. Seeing this, Wang Mang suddenly laughed. He felt that this was an opportunity for him to attack. Besides, Wang Mang was a member of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons. Of course, he could not sit back and do nothing. Thinking of this, Wang Mang no longer hesitated. He took out the Immortal Emperor mask and put it on. Then, he directly attacked. In the next moment, Wang Mang suddenly raised his hand, and a palm of vast power blasted towards the 2 late-stage Immortal Emperors. The 2 late-stage Immortal Emperors were an old rogue cultivator at the 8th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm and a peerless genius at the 6th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. When they saw Wang Mang's palm, the 2 of them were dumbfounded and turned pale with fright. However, before the 2 of them could react, they were severely injured by Wang Mang's palm. They were bleeding profusely. The 2 of them fell to the ground in a sorry state. They raised their heads and looked at Wang Mang in horror. Their faces were full of confusion. Obviously, they did not understand where Wang Mang came from. Moreover, why did Wang Mang suddenly attack them? In an instant, not only was the old rogue cultivator dumbfounded, similarly, the peerless geniuses of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons were also dumbfounded. Senior, what is the meaning of this? Why did you attack the Holy Land of 10,000 demons? Senior, we have not offended you, have we? Why did you do this to us? Hearing this, Wang Mang smiled awkwardly. Which rogue cultivator did I want to kill just now? As for injuring the people of the 10,000 devil Holy Land, it was purely an accident. Hearing this, the heaven's favorite was dumbfounded, but at the same time, he heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that the name of the 10,000 devil Holy Land was quite useful, because in the vicinity of the Myriad Devil City, the name of the Myriad Devil Holy Land was a golden signboard. Ordinary loose cultivators would not dare to make a move against people from the Myriad Devil Holy Land. As for why these rogue, immortal emperors would attack the peerless geniuses of the 1,000 Devil Sacred Ground, this was because the peerless geniuses of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land had gone too far. guarding the myriad demons' cave, preventing them from entering the cave to search for opportunities. As for the old rogue cultivator, his face was filled with terror. However, he was cursing Wang Mang in his heart. What the hell? Did I ever offend you? Why do you want to kill me? Of course, these words were only in his mind. At this moment, he hurriedly knelt down and begged for mercy. Senior, please spare my life. I've never offended you before. He did not know why Wang Mang wanted to kill him for no reason. But in the face of absolute strength, he did not have the slightest intention of resisting. As for escaping, he did not even think about it. Moreover, if a mortal emperor wanted to escape from a sage emperor, that was basically impossible. Similarly, after the rogue cultivator begged for mercy, the other peerless geniuses of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land and the rogue cultivators also looked over. Some of the rogue cultivators even had the urge to escape. This was because the appearance of a sage emperor meant that the situation was out of their control. At this moment, Wang Mang also noticed the gazes of the other experts. Thinking of this, Wang Mang knew that he could not kill the rogue cultivator now. Otherwise, once he killed the old rogue cultivator, the other rogue cultivators would definitely escape immediately when they saw that the situation was not good. Thinking of this, Wang Mang still decided to launch a sneak attack. Otherwise, it would be too troublesome to catch them one by one. Therefore, Wang Mang stood with his hands behind his back and said indifferently, "All right, come over obediently. Don't force me to make a move. If you don't listen, don't blame me for being ruthless." After hearing Wang Mang's words, the remaining 3 rogue cultivators looked at each other and walked toward Wang Mang obediently. "Greetings, Senior." The 3 rogue cultivators looked at Wang Mang respectfully. Hearing this, Wang Mang nodded slightly and waved at the 4 peerless geniuses of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. He said indifferently, "Come over too." After hesitating for a moment, the 4 peerless geniuses also approached Wang Mang. Of course, this was mainly because Wang Mang's previous words were effective. In their opinion, even if Wang Mang were a rogue cultivator and a sage emperor, he would not easily attack them. Among the 4 peerless geniuses of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, in fact, some of them had already recognized the immortal emperor mask on Wang Mang's face. Soon, the 4 peerless geniuses also approached. At this moment, one of them suddenly reached out and grabbed the immortal emperor mask on Wang Mang's face. Fortunately, Wang Mang's reaction speed was extremely fast. He grabbed this fellow's hand with one palm. At the same time, Wang Mang was furious and directly attacked. He slapped the peerless genius of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. No! Seeing that his sneak attack had failed, Wang Mang slapped with all his might. The peerless genius instantly turned pale with fright and screamed in horror. This was because he did not expect that his sneak attack would also fail. Originally, he wanted to sneak attack and take the opportunity to take off Wang Mang's immortal emperor mask. That way, he would be qualified to participate in the battle for the position of saint in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. But in the end, he failed. The next moment, bang, a loud sound was heard. That guy's head was instantly blasted into a bloody mist by Wang Mang. At the same time, enraged, Wang Mang's upper body transformed into an enormous python's body and swallowed it whole. Then, the system's voice was heard. "Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully devoured a peerless genius of the 6th heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. Obtained 5 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius. Obtained 1 talent point." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was still furious. Then, under the shocked gazes of the other 3 peerless geniuses, Wang Mang attacked again, and it was a killing move. Wang Mang's 2 palms carried a terrifying amount of dermic powers and instantly slammed towards 2 of the peerless geniuses. The 2 peerless geniuses did not even have time to react before they were killed on the spot by Wang Mang. Their heads were blasted into a bloody mist. Similarly, the other peerless genius was also severely injured by Wang Mang's remaining power. Just as this peerless genius was about to flee in fear, Wang Mang attacked again. Another palm slammed towards his opponent's face. This peerless genius tried his best to use his dermic powers to block it, but he was still killed by Wang Mang's palm. At this point, the four peerless geniuses had all died in the hands of Wang Mang. Then, Wang Mang transformed into a giant python and swallowed the three peerless geniuses into its bloody mouth. At the same time, the system's voice was heard. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius of the sixth heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. Obtained 5 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius. Obtained 1 talent point. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius of the sixth heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. Obtained 10 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius. Obtained 1 talent point. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a sixth heaven immortal emperor peerless genius. Obtained 5 million energy points. Ding! Congratulations, host! Successfully killed a peerless genius. Obtained 1 talent point. Chapter 672. After the system's voice ended. Only then did Wang Mang's anger subside slightly. The reason why he was so angry was that this guy was simply courting death. He actually dared to attack him, and even wanted to snatch his immortal emperor mask. To Wang Mang, this was simply an unforgivable crime. Damn it. All this time, it was only him, Wang Mang, who snatched other people's things. When had he ever been snatched by others? No. Who dared to snatch his things? No one. Moreover, he would never allow anyone to snatch his things. Moreover, this person wanted to snatch his supreme treasure, the 5th stage immortal emperor mask. This thing was practically Wang Mang's reverse scale. It was even more important than his wife. How could he allow others to snatch it away? Most importantly, not only did they snatch his immortal emperor mask, they were also so weak. Did they really think that he, Wang Mang, was a vegetarian? At the same time, not far away, the 4 late-stage immortal emperor rogue cultivators were already scared silly by Wang Mang. They didn't expect Wang Mang to be so cruel, just because a guy wanted to snatch his mask. In the end, this lord's killing intent was aroused, and he started a massacre. And he immediately killed all the peerless geniuses of the 10,000 devil sacred land. If they were to do this, they definitely wouldn't dare to do so, although they were all late-stage immortal emperor rogue cultivators. But if they were to really kill the peerless geniuses of the 10,000 devil sacred land, they definitely wanted to do so, but they didn't have the guts. Looking at the 4 rogue cultivators who were trembling in fear, Wang Mang raised his hand and set up another barrier, sealing off the surrounding area. Seeing this scene, the 4 rogue cultivators were instantly terrified. They looked at Wang Mang with trembling eyes and said in horror, "Senior, please spare us." "Yeah, Senior, we didn't see anything." Obviously, setting up a barrier was a sign that he was going to kill them. No matter how stupid they were, they could tell. Naturally, they had to beg for mercy. As for rebelling against Wang Mang, what a joke. They weren't peerless geniuses. How big was the difference in strength between an immortal emperor and a sage emperor? It was like the gap between heaven and earth. Apart from heaven-defying geniuses, no one could surpass it. But what about those geniuses just now? He was directly defeated by Wang Mang. He didn't even last a few minutes. They didn't think that he was much stronger than those legendary geniuses. Hearing that, Wang Mang looked at them with an indifferent expression, then attacked again. 10 minutes later, the screams stopped abruptly. At this point, Wang Mang had completely taken care of everyone. Similarly, these 4 rogue cultivators were late-stage immortal emperors. It also gave Wang Mang 20 million energy value. At this moment, Wang Mang was preparing to leave. Suddenly, he heard a commotion in the distance. This immediately caused Wang Mang to frown. Could it be that another expert had come? Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang waved his hand and dispelled the barrier, quickly leaving the vicinity of the myriad demon's cave. It was worth mentioning. On the way back, Wang Mang was in a good mood, because Wang Mang had a premonition. He was very close to breaking through to the next realm. Moreover, if he remembered correctly, his current energy value had accumulated to the point where he was close to breaking through to the next realm. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel even more elated. I'll wander around the myriad demons at Sacred Land first. I'll go back when the battle for the saint is about to begin. Thinking up to this point, Wang Mang hummed a little tune and bypassed the myriad demon city. It took another 2 days to reach the vicinity of the myriad demons' sacred land. As for why Wang Mang bypassed the myriad demon city, he didn't want to meet any playboy from the myriad demon city again. Because if he really met him, Wang Mang was afraid that he wouldn't be able to resist killing him. The key was that if he wanted to kill him, so be it. This guy's father was a God Emperor level expert. If he couldn't provoke him, he could just hide. But after arriving near the myriad demons' sacred land, Wang Mang didn't choose to return to the myriad demons' sacred land. On the contrary, he began to wander around the myriad demons' mountain. Half a day later, Wang Mang found an extremely secluded cave near the myriad demons' mountain. After pondering for a while, Wang Mang went into the cave and decided to take a look at his recent gains. Therefore, after entering the cave, Wang Mang didn't hesitate to say in his heart, "System, open my personal information." The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of a quasi-sage, sacred land member, type, Void Python, limit 700 meters, realm, 6th heaven of the immortal emperor, legendary prodigy, physique, HP 16,000, energy 16,000, length 665 meters, width 31 meters, weight 25 million tons. Ordinary divine ability, God controlling seal, void hand, void blade, void escape, 1 step to the horizon, shape-shifting. Top divine ability, 3 lives supreme Buddha, greater mastery. Hongjun 3 corpses technique. None, wrath of gods and demons, perfection. Space, rank 5 pill formula X1. 1-time top unlucky card X1, 1 bottle of oblivion, 1 falling saint pill, rank 5 abyss subordinate summoning card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, immortal emperor mask, 200 million immortal stones, immortal king grade blind box X1, talent value. 6, energy value. 1, 62 billion/2 billion. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang's eyes lit up. Before this, he knew that evolution was close at hand. Now that he had read his personal information, it was as he had guessed. He had already accumulated 1.62 billion energy value. Adding in 200 million mortal stones, that was 1.82 billion. He was less than 200 million energy value away from evolution. More importantly, he still had an immortal king grade blind box. Maybe his luck would come and he could really open it with 200 million energy value? Thinking of this, Wang Mang suddenly became a little restless. If he could evolve this time, after he became the Holy Sun and completed the mission, he would definitely be able to evolve again. Thinking of this, Wang Mang finally decided to open the Immortal King Grade Blind Box first. After all, it was an Immortal King Grade Blind Box. It shouldn't be as bad as an Immortal Grade Blind Box, right? After all, he had never opened an Immortal King Grade Blind Box before. Thinking of this, Wang Mang took a deep breath and said in his heart, "System, open the Immortal King Grade Blind Box." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King Grade Blind Box." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained 100 million energy value. F*CK. F*CK. Awesome." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was stunned at first, then he was overjoyed. F*CK. As expected, The Immortal King Gray Blind Box was indeed different. It was on a completely different level from the Immortal Gray Blind Box. Thinking of this, Wang Meng immediately suppressed his excitement and began to look forward to the next prize. A minute later, the system's voice sounded for the second time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 100 million energy value. Awesome. The Immortal King Gray Blind Box was awesome. After hearing that another 100 million energy value had been opened, Wang Meng couldn't stop smiling. This Immortal King Gray Blind Box was indeed completely different from the Immortal Gray Blind Box. The Immortal Gray Blind Box was indeed very deceptive. However, the Immortal King Gray Blind Box did not disappoint Wang Meng. Wang Meng was in a good mood. A minute passed quickly. Chapter 673. The system's voice sounded for the third time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. You've obtained 4 points of talent. What the F***CK? Talent points can be obtained? Isn't this 2F***king insane? When he heard the system's announcement, Wang Meng even thought that he had heard it wrong. This was a talent value. This was too rare. This was because even if Wang Meng killed a peerless genius, he would still be able to kill a peerless genius. It could only provide him with 1 point of talent points. Therefore, it could be said that apart from energy points, Wang Meng only wanted 2 things the most. The first was a level 5 treasure that could increase his combat strength. The second was to increase his aptitude. This talent point was just too heaven-defying. Therefore, Wang Meng was in a great mood at this moment. What's more, his evolution this time was already set in stone. Therefore, Wang Meng actually wanted talent points more. It would be great if he could get more talent points. Under Wang Meng's anticipation, another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the 4th time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. You've successfully obtained 100 million energy points. When he heard the system's announcement, Wang Meng couldn't help but sigh to himself. Sigh. Another 100 million energy points. System Daddy, give me some talent points. I, your son, want to sweep through everything, beat up prodigies, and suppress an era. Obviously, ever since he had obtained the talent points, Wang Meng was even more eager to obtain them. After all, Wang Meng didn't want to continue to grow and be a miser. If it was possible, Wang Meng also wanted to kill prodigies, step on prodigies, and suppress the younger generation of the Sacred Emperor continent. Moreover, when Wang Meng realized that he could obtain the talent points, Wang Meng also started to pay attention to this thing. That was because he already had 10 points of innate talent. With another 20 points of talent points, he could become a peerless prodigy. After all, Wang Meng was the future holy son of the All-Demons Holy Land. Only peerless prodigies were worthy of his status as the saint. At this moment, the system's voice sounded for the 5th time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 100 million energy values. Another 100 million energy points? Do you dare to give me some talent points? After hearing the system's announcement, Wang Meng couldn't help but be speechless. Fine. He had to admit that. Wang Meng was indeed a little arrogant now. Originally, Wang Meng had expected this Immortal King Gray Blind Box to be worth 200 million energy points. However, after discovering that the Immortal King Gray Blind Box was so awesome, Wang Meng's requirements had also increased. There was nothing wrong with this. Who wouldn't want to get something better? Another minute passed. The system's voice sounded for the 6th time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 600 million energy values. That's right. Finally, it didn't cost 100 million. After hearing the system open 600 million energy value, Wang Meng nodded in satisfaction. He was very satisfied with this Immortal King Gray Blind Box. So far, it had given him 1 billion energy values. In addition, he had 4 talent points. Such a reward had simply broken his record for opening a blind box. The blind boxes he had opened in the past had definitely not given such a high energy value. Just as Wang Meng was in high spirits, the system's voice sounded for the 7th time, frowny-faced Ding. Congratulations, host. Level 5 top elixir, 6 flavor emperor pill. Note, after using this elixir, it can allow a stage 5 expert to advance by a small realm. Every stage 5 expert can only use it once. What the F asterisk CK? Was it the 6 flavor Remania pill? Or was it the 6 flavor emperor pill? This name sound a little familiar? What the F asterisk CK? Wasn't this a kind of medicine on Earth? What was the advertising slogan again? 6 flavor Remania pill, specially used to treat lumbar discs? What shocked Wang Mang even more was that the effect of this 6 flavor Remania pill was too awesome. It could actually allow a stage 5 expert to advance by a small realm. This was no different from a free evolution opportunity, right? Thinking of this, Wang Mang was both shocked and excited. F asterisk CK, his luck had finally turned. Finally, something good came out of it. He couldn't remember how long it had been since he had opened something good. Today, he had finally waited for the clouds to open and the moon to see the moon. At this moment, the system's voice sounded for the 8th time, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 80 million energy values. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang was overjoyed. Not bad. This was the Immortal King Grade Blind Box. He didn't even get a single piece of trash. It was 2 F asterisk King awesome. In a good mood, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, System, exchange 200 million immortal stones for energy values. The next moment, the system's voice sounded again, frowny face ding. Congratulations, host. Immortal stones exchange successful. Ding. Congratulations, host. Obtained 200 million energy values. Ding. Accumulate conditions to meet evolution. Do you want to begin evolution? No. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang only wanted to say one word. Awesome. At this moment, Wang Mang felt unprecedentedly carefree because his energy value had reached 9 billion. Even if he evolved, he still had 900 million energy values left. After he became a saint, he could continue to evolve. More importantly, as long as he wanted to, he could evolve twice in a row. Moreover, he had 2 choices now. The first choice was to evolve twice in a row, raise his cultivation level to the 8th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. In this case, Wang Mang's combat power would reach the 1st heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. And with the Immortal Emperor mask, his combat power would reach the 3rd heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. But Wang Mang was a little hesitant. Should he use the 6 flavor Remania pill now? After all, this thing was indeed better the later it was used. Once he reached the Immortal Emperor realm, the benefits would be maximized, because the further he cultivated, the more terrifying the amount of resources he would need to consume would be. Therefore, the later he used the 6 flavor Remania pill, the more valuable it would be. After pondering for a long time, Wang Mang finally decided not to use the 6 flavor Remania pill for the time being. He decided to use it when he broke through to the Immortal Emperor realm. In other words, he could use it when he broke through to the Immortal Emperor realm. With this thought, Wang Mang gave up on the idea of using the 6 flavor Remania pill, because Wang Mang felt that after he broke through to the 7th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm, he would definitely become a saint. By then, he would have the cultivation level of 7th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm and the combat power of a 9th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. With the Immortal Emperor mask, his combat power would reach the 2nd heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm. Moreover, he did not even have an opponent to compete with for the position of the saint. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was in a good mood. He said in his heart, System, begin the evolution. The next moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! 2 billion energy values have been successfully deducted. Beginning evolution. After that, Wang Mang completely lost consciousness in the midst of his evolution. Chapter 674. At the same time, Wang Mang was in seclusion to evolve. On the other hand, in the heavily guarded back mountain of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons, the 3 old men at the God Emperor level sat, facing each other. Their faces were dark and gloomy. The bloodthirsty patriarch said with an ugly expression, "God Fiend, that kid from your lineage is too vicious," said the God Fiend. "He even killed all the participants in the competition for the Son of Saint. He is willing to do anything to obtain the position of the Son of Saint." The Fiend God Ancestor felt rather helpless when he heard this, because Wang Mang's words and actions were too vicious and cruel. This was simply a case of the student surpassing the master. At least the three of them. The competition for the position of the Son of Saint was not so vicious. Why did they know that Wang Mang was the one who killed all the participants? After all, it was simply impossible to hide Wang Mang's matter from them. Don't forget, they were God Emperors. They could deduce it with a pinch of their fingers, unless the opponent was more powerful than them, or they might be God Emperor level experts. Otherwise, it would be impossible to hide from the heavens. They would still be able to deduce it easily. Therefore, Wang Mang's actions, they already knew. This brat's methods are indeed a little vicious. But I have to say that this kid is very suitable for the position of the son of 10,000 demons. Besides, now that he's killed everyone, we can't possibly kill him, right? Also, the Holy Land of 10,000 demons did not stipulate that the disciples of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons cannot kill each other outside. The Divine Demon Patriarch said helplessly after pondering for a while. He did not have a good or bad impression of Wang Mang. After all, if Wang Mang became the Son of Saint, he would also benefit in the future. The Dark Patriarch nodded slightly. That's right. We can't break the rules of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons. Although this kid is vicious, as long as he doesn't do anything wrong to the Holy Land of 10,000 demons, we have no reason to attack him. The bloodthirsty Patriarch flew into a rage when he heard the Dark Patriarch's words. Why do we need rules when we attack him? Are you sure that it is a blessing for the Holy Land of 10,000 demons if such a person becomes the Son of Saint? Hearing this, the Dark Ancestor said calmly, I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse, but we can't interfere with the selection of the Holy Son. The bloodthirsty Patriarch could do nothing when he saw that the Dark Patriarch was siding with the Celestial Demon Patriarch. There was not much difference in strength between the three of them. Unfortunately, the strongest was still the Dark Ancestor. This was because the Dark Ancestor's bloodline was the current Holy Master of the 10,000 Demons' Holy Land. Furthermore, the Holy Master of the 10,000 Demons' Holy Land had already reached the threshold of the God Emperor realm. If nothing went wrong, the current Holy Master of the 1,000 Devil Holy Land could also become a God Emperor. Now that both of them had expressed their stance, Wang Mang made his move. Even if he had a problem with Wang Mang, there was nothing he could do. At the same time, Wang Mang, who was still in a coma during the evolution process, he was completely unaware that he had already walked through the gates of hell. Half a month later, Wang Mang slowly woke up from his evolution. When Wang Mang opened his eyes, he was surprised to see that Wang Mang's eyes were shining brightly. A seventh heaven immortal emperor was indeed incomparable to a sixth heaven immortal emperor. Now, he could feel that his body had become even stronger. From his physical body to the immensity dermic power circulating in his body, there was an obvious qualitative improvement. Similarly, even Wang Mang's primordial spirit had become more solid. This was because every time his strength broke through, his primordial spirit would become stronger. Is this the seventh heaven immortal emperor? I am indeed much stronger than a sixth heaven immortal emperor. Wang Mang could not help but sigh as he looked at the changes in his body. This kind of improvement could not be explained clearly, but he could clearly feel it. Of course, Wang Mang did not know the specific changes in the data. It was more accurate to look at his personal information. Therefore, Wang Mang said in his heart, "System, show me my personal information." The next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of the Sage-to-Be, member of the Holy Land, type, Void Python, limit 700 meters, realm, sixth heaven immortal emperor, peerless genius, physique, HP 17,000, energy 17,000, length 670 meters, width 32 meters, weight 30 million tons. Ordinary divine powers, God controlling seal, hand of the void, blade of the void, void escape, horizon step, myriad changes. Top divine powers, 3 lives supreme Buddha, greater mastery, Hongjun 3 corpses technique, none, wrath of the gods and demons, perfection, space. Rank 5 pill formula X1, one-time top add luck card X1, forgotten love water 1 bottle, fallen saint pill 1, rank 5 abyss summon card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, immortal emperor mask, 6 flavor emperor pill 1, talent 10 points. Energy value, 900 million/2, 5 billion. After looking at his personal information, Wang Mang immediately nodded in satisfaction. Now, he had absolute confidence in becoming the holy son of the all-demons' holy land, especially when he thought that it was less than 10 days away from the election of the all-demons' holy land. Wang Mang could not help but laugh again, because after becoming the holy son, he would be able to rise by another small realm. By then, he would also be a holy emperor expert. With such strength, he could even go to the journey to the west. Because, at the moment, the journey to the west was not as terrifying as the Holy Emperor continent. There were too many God Emperor-level experts in the Holy Emperor continent. A God Emperor-level expert was a sage expert. But how many sage experts were there in the Holy Emperor continent? Even if there were not hundreds of them, it was close. Therefore, Wang Mang had already made up his mind. After he became the Holy Son, he would become a Holy Emperor expert. By then, in the journey to the west, other than sages and some old monsters, other than that, there should not be many who could pose a threat to him. In fact, if he was a little stronger, he could go to the journey to the west and show off. At this moment, Wang Mang was in high spirits. He suddenly had a feeling of trepidation. There was even an inexplicable sense of uneasiness. F***CK. What was going on? Could it be that he was up to no good? Wang Mang was bewildered. Then, Wang Mang immediately began to calculate with his fingers. However, Wang Mang really did not know who the danger was coming from, because there were too many people who were involved in Wang Mang's karma. For example, the legendary prodigies that he had killed this time. Wait a minute, legendary prodigies? F***CK? This feeling of uneasiness. Could it be that it came from these prodigies that he had killed? Or experts from the families and forces behind these prodigies? Wang Mang suddenly thought of this possibility. Moreover, the more Wang Mang thought about it, the more he felt that it was very likely. But how powerful would a family force that could nurture a prodigy be? At this thought, Wang Mang's forehead suddenly broke out in cold sweat. At this moment, a deafening roar of anger was heard. Bastard! How dare you kill the Zun family's prodigies? I'll grind your bones to dust. Chapter 675. This angry roar also proved that Wang Mang's guess was right. Moreover, this voice was like the might of heaven, even deafening him. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the strength of the newcomer was. Even if he was not an emperor god, he was definitely a late-stage emperor god. At this moment, Wang Mang did not have time to think too much. This sense of crisis was even more terrifying. This feeling made his hair stand on end, as if he was in deep danger. This also made him subconsciously use the void escape and hide in the space. What Wang Mang did not know was that hiding in the space without hesitation was the wisest choice, because the entire mountain where Wang Mang was previously, now, they had all been reduced to ruins by a single palm strike from this mad peak, Saint Emperor. But in the next moment, just as Wang Mang hid in the space, he was horrified to find that the terrifying aura that suffocated him was still following him. Wang Mang turned around and saw that in the turbulence of space behind him, an incomparably handsome old man with long white hair was now ferocious. His eyes were filled with the desire to tear Wang Mang apart. This white-haired old man looked at Wang Mang with a ferocious and terrifying face and questioned, "You dog, Are you the one who killed my Zun family's genius? Unfortunately, Wang Mang did not have time to pay attention to him at all, nor did he dare to say harsh words to anger him. On the contrary, Wang Mang drilled out of the space again and returned to the real world. Not only that, after returning to the real world, he fled towards the holy land of all demons. Because this old man was too powerful. If he really wanted to fight with this old man, Wang Mang could only use the wrath of gods and demons. Otherwise, it would definitely be disastrous. On the contrary, Wang Mang knew that he only needed to escape to the holy land of all demons. At that time, with the protection of the holy land of all demons, would this old man dare to chase him there? Thinking of this, Wang Mang was filled with anger. He felt that this Zun family was too much of a sore loser. Damn it, he did not kill Zun Long. Revered dragon ran to the myriad demons' cave and died. In the end, the King came to kill him. This was going too far. If it was the family behind Sword Sovereign that came to kill him, Wang Mang could accept it. Or perhaps the elders behind the families of the participants of the holy sons that he had killed had come to kill him. Wang Mang could also accept it. But the problem was the deaths of Zun Long and Gu Yuan had nothing to do with him. Back then, he had even advised these two fellows. Thinking of this, Wang Mang gritted his teeth in anger. He couldn't bear this grievance. This Zun family's going too far. Also, this shameless old thing was just like the ancestral dragon. He didn't care about martial virtues, nor did he care about being a hypocrite. A mighty late-stage Saint Emperor had actually attacked a weak child like him. CKU, Zun family. Once my strength increases, I'll definitely exterminate your entire clan. Wang Mang gritted his teeth and thought in his heart. But in the next moment, Wang Mang discovered to his horror that there was no way out of the myriad demons' holy land. This was because Wang Mang's path forward had already been sealed off by a thick magic power barrier. Moreover, this magical power barrier had even sealed the space. This guy obviously wanted to capture him alive. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's heart sank, and a 5-colored teleportation stone appeared in his hand. At this moment, the old man with long white hair had a sinister smile on his face. He walked over with his hands behind his back. "Little bastard, why don't you run?" Hearing this, Wang Mang suppressed the anger in his heart and gritted his teeth. "Senior, I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to kill me?" The old man with long white hair had a sinister expression on his face and said in a sinister tone, "No enmity? My Zun family's genius, Zun Long, was killed by you, little bastard. You still want to quibble?" Wang Mang suddenly looked shocked and said in astonishment, "Zun Long is dead?" Seeing Wang Mang's look of disbelief, the old man with long white hair said with a sinister expression, "Humph. Little bastard, this is all thanks to you. If you hadn't failed to stop Zun Long, how could he have entered the myriad demons' cave and died tragically? You little bastard, you really deserve to die." After hearing this old man's words, Wang Mang was completely stunned. "What the CK? You're blaming me for this?" To be honest, Wang Mang was also defeated by this old man's thoughts. He had always thought that he was shameless enough. But in front of this old man, Wang Mang was ashamed of his inferiority. This old man was even more shameless than he was. Even more shameless than he was. At the same time, Wang Mang was completely speechless. Because, since this old man was blaming him, what could he say? At this moment, Wang Mang could only hope that the experts from the myriad demons' sacred land would appear. After all, if the experts from the myriad demons' sacred land did not appear, Wang Mang could only run to another world first. Seeing that Wang Mang was silent, the white-haired old man said with a cold expression, "Little bastard, since you have nothing to say, I'll send you on your way." Having said that, the white-haired old man prepared to attack. As for Wang Mang, he also held the teleportation stone tightly in his hand and prepared to leave the sacred emperor continent. However, at this moment, an angry roar was heard. "How dare you? Who dares to act so presumptuously in the myriad demons' sacred land's territory?" Wang Mang was overjoyed when he heard that voice. He knew that the experts from the myriad demons' sacred land had appeared. After hearing the angry roar, the white-haired old man's expression changed drastically. Then, without any hesitation, he looked at Wang Mang with a ferocious expression and coldly said, "Die, little bastard." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang felt his entire body being bound by a terrifying force. He could not move at all. Then, the white-haired old man pointed his finger at Wang Mang from afar. A terrifying dermic power from a finger of the sword instantly swept toward Wang Mang. Wang Mang felt the threat of death from the terrifying finger of the sword. Also, when the old man used this divine ability, he was able to sense it. Wang Mang saw that half of the energy above the old man's head had been depleted. This meant that the old man was attacking with his full strength. He was not holding back at all. Therefore, Wang Mang used the World Teleportation Stone without hesitation in his panic. In the next moment, Wang Mang disappeared. This caused the terrifying finger of the sword to miss. It landed on a mountain tens of thousands of meters away. Rumble. In the next moment, the inconspicuous finger of the sword. The mountains nearby the mountain were reduced to ashes. Even the space of the sacred Emperor continent was penetrated. In fact, the entire myriad demons mountain trembled a few times. At the same time, after seeing Wang Mang disappear, the white-haired old man was dumbfounded. He could feel it. Wang Mang's aura had disappeared into thin air. It was obvious that he had disappeared from the sacred Emperor continent. What was going on? Just as he was puzzled, an extremely furious voice echoed in the world. "Zunyang, how dare you, you old thing? How dare you attack a disciple of the myriad demons' sacred land? I'm going to kill you today." Chapter 676. The third elder, who had rushed over, was furious. Even though he was relieved that Wang Mang had managed to escape the calamity, he still couldn't help but feel relieved. But that shameless old man had ignored him. Qin Wentian had brazenly attacked Wang Mang right in front of him. Thus, Zunyang's actions had completely infuriated the third elder. In his fury, he directly attacked Zunyang. "Die for this old man. Life and death polarity." With a furious roar, the third elder formed a seal with both hands. A strange black circle flew out. Then, the black circle shot toward Zunyang. Zunyang's expression changed drastically when he saw this. The life and death polarity was one of the third elder's top 3 divine abilities. Furthermore, this top-notch divine ability was also the reason why the 3 elders of the 10,000 demons' holy land were so famous. Therefore, when he saw the strange black circle flying towards him, he didn't dare to take it head-on, because once touched by the life and death polarity, his primordial spirit would definitely be torn apart. Yes, this was a top divine ability that attacked the primordial spirit. "Jingtian, I won't lower myself to your level. This brat, this old man really must kill him. The next time I meet him, he won't be so lucky." After snorting coldly, Zunyang flicked his sleeve. In the next moment, a spatial door appeared in front of him. Then, he stepped into the spatial door and disappeared. Jingtian's expression eased slightly when he saw that Zunyang didn't want to fight him and instead turned to flee. If they really fought, he didn't have the ability to kill Zunyang at all. Although he was a 9th heavenly layer Saint Emperor, Zunyang wasn't weak either. Zunyang was a peak 8th heavenly layer Saint Emperor. There was indeed a large gap between the two of them, but the gap wasn't enough to kill him. If they really fought, he would at most be able to suppress Zunyang. Wanting to kill Zunyang was simply not possible. If Zunyang wanted to escape, he couldn't stop him at all. After taking a look at the surroundings, Yi Zichen said. He couldn't sense Wang Mang's aura at all. This meant that Wang Mang had already escaped far away. In desperation, Jingtian sighed and said, "Sigh. Let's hope that Wang Mang can return before the Holy Sun selection begins." With that, Jingtian turned around and returned to the myriad devil holy land. In his opinion, Wang Mang was looking for trouble. He was clearly near the 10,000 devil holy land, but he didn't return to the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. If Wang Mang was in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land, how could Zun Yang dare to touch him? Unless it was a God Emperor level powerhouse, no one would dare to touch him in the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. In the blink of an eye, 9 days passed. At this moment, the Holy Sun selection in the 1,000 Demons Holy Land had already begun. At the same time, all the elite disciples of the All Devils Holy Land were in an uproar. Because all the peerless geniuses were gone. This meant that they had a chance to compete for the position of the chosen saint. Because of this, all of the core disciples of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land were extremely excited. At the same time, they also received news from various channels. He had a rough idea. This was a reason why nearly 10 holy sons of the 10,000 demons Holy Land had disappeared. Of the 9 holy sons, 2 had died tragically in the 10,000 demons cave, and 1 had accidentally died outside. The remaining 4 holy sons had all died in the hands of one of the holy sons. Originally, there was no doubt that the position of the holy son would belong to the last peerless genius. But just 9 days ago, this peerless genius was attacked by a late-stage God Emperor. This also led to the disappearance of all the peerless geniuses in the entire All Devils Holy Land. And the Holy Sun selection in the 10,000 Demons Holy Land had already begun. Therefore, their chance naturally came. Many of the core disciples were guessing. The rest of the geniuses were all killed by Wang Mang. As for Wang Mang's motive, it was obviously for the position of the Holy Sun. In the end, an accident happened. This allowed them to take advantage of it for nothing. This was the guess of many of the core disciples of the All Devils Holy Land. It was the most likely answer. However, this was the truth. At the same time, in the world of Earth, in the province of Guizhou, in a grand and imposing palace, Wang Mang was chatting with his parents. He had been back for quite some time. Due to the time on Earth, the flow of time was different from the flow of time in the Sacred Emperor continent. Wang Mang could be considered to have given himself a good holiday. At this moment, Wang Mang roughly explained what he had experienced to his parents. After hearing his explanation, Father Wang nodded his head and said, "Mang heir, although you've achieved a little now, but the world is dangerous. The strong are respected. You have to be careful with every step you take. Even if you have the strength, you have to keep a low profile. Don't make too many enemies." Queen Mother also nodded and said, "Mang heir, listen to your father. Although your father and I have not been to the Sacred Emperor continent that you mentioned, our cultivation is not as good as yours. But the more careful you are, the further you can go." Hearing this, Wang Mang did not know whether to laugh or cry. He could only nod and say, "Dad, Mom, I understand. Don't worry. I, your son, have always regarded my life as the most important thing." Seeing Wang Mang nod, Wang Fu's Queen Mother nodded in satisfaction. It had been many years since they last met Wang Mang. However, Wang Fu's Queen Mother knew that there was no time in cultivation. Time was like flowing water, especially when one cultivated to a higher level. One's seclusion would often last for a very long time. That was because they had a deep understanding of it now. After all, as one's strength increased, they would be able to empathize more. Therefore, even if Wang Mang had not come back to see them for a long time, they could still understand. Moreover, they did not want to go to an unfamiliar world to cultivate. In Wang Fu's Queen Mother's opinion, Earth was very good. It was very suitable for them to cultivate on Earth. That was because Earth had once again returned to peace and prosperity. Similarly, the current world had also entered the era of cultivation. Their cultivation levels were enough to make them kings and ancestors on Earth. No one dared to provoke them. Just as Wang Mang was about to speak, the system's voice suddenly sounded frowny-faced. Ding. Warm reminder. The selection of the saint in the Holy Land of 10,000 demons has begun. Please return as soon as possible. After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang's body trembled. He knew that it was time for him to return to the Sacred Emperor continent. Thinking of this, Wang Mang raised his head and looked at his parents. He said softly, "Dad, Mom, I'm going to the sacred emperor continent. I have something important to do." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Wang Fu's queen mother was stunned. Her eyes were filled with reluctance, but she smiled and said, "Go, Mang heir." Wang Mang nodded with a smile. Then he took out the 5-color teleportation stone and activated it. In the next moment, Wang Mang completely disappeared. At the same time, when Wang Mang opened his eyes again, he had returned to the sacred emperor continent. In other words, he was near the holy land of 10,000 demons. Then Wang Mang flew toward the holy land of 10,000 demons without stopping. When he arrived at the entrance of the holy land of 10,000 demons, Wang Mang was about to enter. Suddenly, a stern and angry voice shouted, "Stop right there!" Hearing that, Wang Mang stopped and turned around. An old man in an elder's attire was walking toward him. "Greetings, elder." Wang Mang immediately greeted him respectfully, although he did not know what the elder's status was. But this guy's aura was truly terrifying. Obviously, his status was not low. Hearing that, the elder sized up Wang Mang for a moment and said indifferently, "You're Wang Mang, right?" Hearing that, Wang Mang nodded respectfully. However, his tone was a little anxious. "Yes, elder. I'm Wang Mang. Elder, please let me in to participate in the selection of the saint." Hearing that, the elder looked at Wang Mang expressionlessly and said indifferently, "Listen to me. Listen to this old man's advice. Don't even think about becoming the chosen saint. You'd better wait for the selection of the saint to end before you enter." Chapter 677. After hearing the elder's words, Wang Mang was stunned. What does this elder mean? At this moment, the elder said with an indifferent expression, "When the time comes, the sacred leader will owe you a favor. The sacred leader will naturally not mistreat you." "Junior, do you understand what I mean?" After hearing the elder's words, Wang Mang immediately guessed. The sacred leader wants the position of the Son of Saint. Moreover, those who are participating in the Son of Saint battle are definitely on good terms with the sacred leader. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's heart sank. Isn't this too much? I finally got the position of the Son of Saint. In the end, the sacred leader wants to arrange for his own people to take the position. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was very unhappy and said without hesitation, "Senior, please don't say this. Senior, don't say anymore. I'm determined to get the position of Holy Son." Hearing this, the elder said expressionlessly, "Do as you wish." He also knew that Wang Mang had put in a lot of effort to get the position of the Son of Saint. He had even paid a huge price to kill all the competitors. If it were him, he would definitely not be willing to do so. Therefore, the elder nodded at Wang Mang with an indifferent expression. "Since you've already made up your mind, you may go in." Hearing this, Wang Mang heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the elder did not stop him. He was just passing a message to the sacred leader of the all-demon sacred ground. However, Wang Mang knew that if he participated in the Son of Saint battle, he would also offend the sacred leader. However, Wang Mang had no choice. He could not just give up the position of the Son of Saint, right? Moreover, the position of the Son of Saint was something that Wang Mang had put in a lot of effort to get. How could he let the sacred leader arrange for someone to reap without sowing? Thinking of this, Wang Mang stepped into the all-demons sacred ground without hesitation. Then, he rushed towards the training field in the all-demons sacred ground. The martial practice field was the 10,000 demon holy land, the place where the Holy Sun selection was held. When Wang Mang arrived at the martial arts practice field, he saw a sea of people surrounding the stage in the center of the martial arts practice field. At the center of the martial arts practice field, a handsome young man in a white robe stood on the huge stage. He stood with his hands behind his back and a proud expression on his face. Similarly, the 5 elders and the holy master of the 10,000 demons' holy land stood beside the stage. At this moment, one of the elders suddenly spoke. 3 incense sticks later, if no one challenges Whitebone Lord, then the position of Holy Sun will belong to Whitebone Lord. As soon as the elder finished speaking, the core disciples below began to discuss spiritedly. What ability does this fellow have to become the holy son of the all-devil holy land? That's right. If it weren't for those peerless geniuses fighting so fiercely and killing each other, how could it have been his turn? That's right. The position of Holy Son should have belonged to Wang Mang. In the end, this fellow was really unlucky. He was hunted down by the older generation experts of the Zun family and is now hiding somewhere. Wang Mang is too ruthless. In order to become the Holy Son, he killed all the Holy Son competitors of the all-devil holy land. That's right. If it weren't for the elders spreading the news, everyone would probably still be in the dark. He's a ruthless person. In order to become the Holy Son, he's ruthless to the extreme. What's the use of being ruthless? In the end, didn't he just benefit the Holy Master's great-grandson for nothing? This is probably what they mean by searching high and low for something, only to find it by chance. After hearing the discussions, Wang Mang couldn't help but be shocked. He didn't expect that his matter had already spread in the all-devil holy land. Damn, it seems like the all-devil holy land definitely knows that I killed the Holy Son competitors. However, since they didn't pursue the matter, that means they won't find trouble with me. Thinking of this, Wang Mang was secretly relieved. This was because before entering the all-devil holy land, Wang Mang was actually quite nervous. But now, it seemed that there wouldn't be any problems. This also made Wang Mang sigh in relief. At this time, a dignified and old voice sounded again. If no one challenges the White Bone Lord, then the White Bone Lord will be the Holy Son of the all-devil holy land. Is there anyone else who opposes the White Bone Lord? If you do, come up and defeat the White Bone Lord. Hearing this, Wang Mang suddenly raised his head and saw that the elder on the stage was looking at him indifferently. At the same time, Wang Mang also noticed that the third elder was nodding slightly at him. Seeing this, Wang Mang knew that he could go on stage. Therefore, Wang Mang said without hesitation, "I object." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang took out the immortal emperor mask and put it on his face. Then, under the surprised gazes of the all-devil holy land disciples, he jumped up onto the stage. The White Bone Lord, who was originally full of pride, immediately stiffened when he saw Wang Mang, especially when he sensed Wang Mang's second heavenly layer sage emperor cultivation. His expression became incomparably ugly. This was because his ancestor had already told him, if Wang Mang didn't return, the position of the all-devil holy land's holy son would belong to him. However, if Wang Mang returned, he would take the initiative to admit defeat and give up the idea of fighting for the position of the holy son. However, the White Bone Lord was unwilling, because if Wang Mang returned later, the position of the holy son would be his. However, just as he was about to obtain the position of the holy son, Wang Mang actually returned. How could he be willing to give it up willingly? Thinking of this, the White Bone Lord's expression darkened. He sent a voice transmission. Wang Mang, are you sure you want to offend my ancestor? My ancestor is the holy master of the all-devil holy land. If you take the initiative to step down and give up the position of the holy son, I won't argue with you. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude to you. After hearing the White Bone Lord's threat, Wang Mang immediately smiled, then looked at the elder beside him and asked, "Elder, can we start?" Hearing this, the elder nodded expressionlessly and said, "The battle starts. It doesn't matter. The winner will continue to stand on the stage and have the right to compete for the position of the Holy Son." After saying that, the late stage Saint Emperor Elder retreated to the side of the stage and stood with the other elders. At the same time, there was an additional space ceiling boundary above the stage. For a moment, only Wang Mang and the White Bone Lord were left on the huge stage. At this moment, the White Bone Lord, who had an ugly expression, took out a pill and swallowed it. Then, under Wang Mang's surprised gaze, he saw the guy's face turn red. At the same time, his original cultivation level of the ninth heaven of the immortal Emperor realm soared to the Holy Emperor realm. After a while, his strength still soared to the peak of the first heaven of the Holy Emperor realm. At this moment, the White Bone Lord looked at Wang Mang with a ferocious face and roared, Boy, I want you to die." After the roar, the White Bone Lord's figure flashed and charged toward Wang Mang. Wang Mang instantly sneered without end when he saw this scene, and his hands started forming seals. Almighty Dragon of Heaven, accompanied by Wang Mang's angry roar. A terrifying and huge black thunder dragon swept out from Wang Mang's body. The thunder dragon instantly bared its fangs and brandished its claws, pouncing toward this guy. Seal of the Great Emperor. As soon as he finished speaking, the White Bone Lord, who had charged over, condensed a huge seal. Then, he rushed toward the thunder dragon that Wang Mang had released. But in the next moment, the White Bone Lord was sent flying by the terrifying thunder dragon. It was accompanied by a shrill scream. The White Bone Lord directly crashed onto the space ceiling boundary. Similarly, he originally had almost 11,000 HP on top of his head. At this moment, half of it disappeared in an instant, leaving him with only 5,000 HP. In just one move, this guy was severely injured by Wang Mang. Chapter 678. Bang! After a loud noise, Lord of Bones fell heavily on the stage. However, it was not over yet. The Black Thunder Dragon rushed toward the Lord of Bones again with its fangs and claws bared. Seeing this scene, the disheveled and seriously injured Lord of White Bone was even more terrified. "I admit defeat." Lord of Bones roared with all his might. Hearing this, Wang Mang waved his hand and called back the great mighty heavenly dragon. Then, the terrifying black lightning dragon bared its fangs and brandished its claws as it charged back into Wang Mang's body. At the same time, the bounded domain opened again. The elder also slowly walked up and said with an indifferent expression, "You're right. Are there any more challengers? If there are no challengers after the time it takes for 3 incense sticks to burn, Wang Mang will be the Holy Sun." Hearing this, Wang Mang looked indifferent. He stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the people below the stage coldly. At this moment, someone looked at Wang Mang with hatred. Sensing something, Wang Mang immediately turned to look at the White Bone Lord. Wang Mang narrowed his eyes and was filled with killing intent. However, after thinking for a while, Wang Mang suppressed the killing intent in his heart. After all, this guy was related to the Holy Lord. If he killed him, the Holy Sun would have more than just a conflict with him. At that time, the two sides would become complete enemies. Moreover, he was just a loser. Wang Mang did not care that he could be a threat to him. After withdrawing his gaze, Wang Mang immediately looked at everyone present with an indifferent expression. In the blink of an eye, 2 incense sticks had passed. But at this moment, a voice was heard. "I object." As soon as the voice fell, a core disciple jumped onto the stage. After seeing this core disciple, Wang Mang was shocked, because this core disciple's strength had reached the 9th heaven of the immortal Emperor realm. More importantly, this guy was also a peerless genius. This meant that his strength had reached the 2nd heaven of the Holy Emperor realm. This was definitely not what Wang Mang expected. This was also something that no one had expected, because after this fellow jumped onto the stage, the entire martial arts practice field was in an uproar, and discussions were everywhere. F***CK. How could this be? Zhang Tianyou's strength has actually reached the 9th heaven of the immortal Emperor realm? Yes, this was too inconceivable. He is also a legendary heaven's favorite. Oh my god, with his strength, he's definitely the strongest contender for the position of Holy Sun. To be honest, I never dreamed that Zhang Tianyou would reach such a level. Not to mention you. Who would have thought that this guy had hidden himself so deeply? This fellow's strength is simply not to be underestimated. For a moment, the huge martial arts practice field was filled with discussions. Everyone was clearly shocked by Zhang Tianyou's strength. At the same time, Wang Mang realized that the group of elders not far away also had looks of astonishment on their faces, because even they didn't expect that Zhang Tianyou's strength had reached such a level. It could be said that even if Wang Mang didn't kill the competitors for the position of Holy Sun, this fellow's strength would still be a strong contender for the position of Holy Sun. Wang Mang even suspected that if he didn't appear, then this fellow would probably become the final Holy Sun of the All Demons Holy Land. After all, who would have thought that such an existence was actually hidden among the core disciples? At this moment, Zhang Tianyu, who looked ordinary, cupped his hands and nodded at Wang Mang. "Greetings, fellow cultivator." Hearing that, Wang Mang's expression was uncertain. He only nodded slightly, but his gaze was somewhat solemn, because he could feel that this fellow's threat was greater than Zun Long, Sword King, and Gu Yuan back then. Therefore, Wang Mang couldn't afford to be careless at all. At the same time, Wang Mang was also very unhappy in his heart, because this bastard really knew how to hide. After Wang Mang had already shifted the position of Holy Sun, this fellow jumped out at the most critical moment. Obviously, this fellow wanted to cut off Wang Mang's position of Holy Sun. Moreover, Wang Mang had also offended the Holy Leader previously. If this fellow could defeat Wang Mang now, it wouldn't be a problem for him to become the Holy Leader at all. This was like Wang Mang doing all the dirty work, and this fellow was just sitting back and enjoying the fruits of his labor. Therefore, Wang Mang didn't have a good impression of this fellow at all. On the contrary, he was very unhappy. At this moment, the elder also stepped back and gave up the huge stage. Then, a solid and terrifying barrier once again enveloped the sky above the stage. Without waiting for Wang Mang to react, Zhang Tianyu took the initiative to attack. His figure flashed, and 3 identical figures appeared. Then, the 3 Zhang Tianyu sneered and shot toward Wang Mang. At the same time, the 3 Zhang Tianyus shouted angrily, "Demonic Blood Hand!" At the same time, the 3 Zhang Tianyus moved at the same time and condensed a terrifying bloody hand, grabbing towards Wang Mang. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's expression suddenly changed. He could feel that this so-called demonic blood hand was extremely powerful. It gave Wang Mang a terrifying sense of threat. Therefore, Wang Mang guessed that this was definitely a top-notch superpower. In the next moment, Wang Mang formed a seal with both hands and shouted angrily, "10,000 Buddhas kill!" At the same time, Wang Mang's terrifying magic power had already condensed into numerous Buddha shadows. The terrifying Buddha shadows looked ferocious, and their murderous intent condensed behind Wang Mang. Kill! After the order was given, the 10,000 Buddhas attacked one after another. The Buddha shadows that filled the sky moved and whizzed out. Boom, boom, boom. One by one, the Buddhas that looked like they came from hell attacked the 3 Zhang Tianyos at the same time. Not only that, the demonic blood hand that the 3 Zhang Tianyos used was also dispersed by the Buddhas. In addition, the Buddha shadows that filled the sky were advancing one after another and attacking the 3 Zhang Tianyos. It was worth mentioning that Wang Mang thought that the other 2 Zhang Tianyos doppelgangers must be fake. But in the end, these 2 doppelgangers turn out to be real, and their strength was actually on par with the original body. Moreover, in the face of the overwhelming Buddha shadows, they were still able to deal with them easily, and the Buddha shadows were all dispersed by them. Seeing this scene, Wang Mang's face darkened, and his eyes became even more solemn. This guy's strength was too strong. To be honest, Wang Mang even suspected this guy was already able to compete with the Holy Emperor mask holder. If he didn't wear the Holy Emperor mask, Wang Mang was no match for this guy at all, because if the space-type top-notch superpower was said to be very rare, then the doppelganger-type top-notch superpower was even rarer. Therefore, this guy was definitely a powerful enemy for Wang Mang. If he couldn't defeat this guy, Wang Mang's position as the son of Saint would also be taken away by him. Chapter 679. Of course, this kind of thing where he was intercepted, Wang Mang absolutely would not allow that to happen. Almighty Heavenly Dragon. After an angry roar, the Black Thunder Dragon drilled out from Wang Mang's body. As it bared its fangs and brandished its claws, it rushed towards the three Zhang Tianyu. Seeing this scene, the three Zhang Tianyu not far away all sneered. Then, Wang Mang saw that the three Zhang Tianyu were blocking his Buddha shadows and almighty heavenly dragon while charging towards him. Obviously, even if Wang Mang used one divine ability after another, he was still unable to take down the three Zhang Tianyu. This was because Zhang Tianyu also had many divine abilities. He had mastered 3 top divine abilities and many ordinary divine abilities. Otherwise, he would not be able to resist Wang Mang's divine ability attacks that could topple mountains and overturn seas. At this moment, Zhang Tianyu raised his head and shouted angrily, "World-destroying demonic plate." As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 Zhang Tianyus shot out a black mana. The 3 black mana condensed into a black demonic plate. Moreover, this demonic plate was very strange. Any attack method that attacked the demonic plate would become the energy of this demonic plate. Other than that, Wang Mang was even more shocked to discover that the countless black threads in the demonic plate were like blood vessels, enveloping the 3 Zhang Tianyus. Moreover, every time the 3 Zhang Tianyus' HP was depleted a little, with the support of these black threads and blood vessels, the 3 Zhang Tianyus' state returned to its peak again. It was an endless cycle that kept repeating itself. This was also why the 3 Zhang Tianyus fought for so long. The HP bars above their heads were still around 11,000 HP. Not only that, the 3 Zhang Tianyus were constantly using divine abilities and killing moves on Wang Mang. Even if Wang Mang could easily dodge, he would definitely lose if he defended for a long time. Wang Mang's HP was also reduced to less than 10,000. 865/12,000 HP. This was Wang Mang's HP at this moment. This made Wang Mang's expression extremely unsightly. This guy had always been in peak condition. If he continued to fight, he would definitely become more and more passive. Thinking of this, Wang Mang immediately shouted angrily, 10,000 Buddhas sit. As soon as he finished speaking, a vast amount of mana gushed out from Wang Mang's body. Then, the boundless power condensed into the figure of a giant Buddha. The enormous Buddha image was like a revered Buddha as it condensed behind Wang Mang. Subsequently, Zhang Tianyu's attacks all landed on the Buddha's shadow. However, he was unable to shake Wang Mang in the slightest. At the same time, when Wang Mang and Zhang Tianyu were fighting, not far away, the elders nodded and began to discuss. That's right. Regardless of whether it's Zhang Tianyu or Wang Mang, if they can become the Holy Sun, it won't be a disgrace to the name of the 10,000 Devil Holy Land. What surprised me was that Zhang Tianyu actually concealed himself so deeply. This old man still has some confidence in Wang Mang. Compared to the other elders who were optimistic, the third elder was all smiles. Was there any other reason why he was optimistic about Wang Mang? Because Wang Mang was a member of the divine demon lineage. On the contrary, Zhang Tianyu did not belong to any faction and was likely to be roped in by the other 2 lineages. This way, Zhang Tianyu might not be a member of the divine demon lineage. Therefore, in comparison, the third elder hoped that the position of the Holy Sun would fall to Wang Mang. 2 days later, Wang Mang and Zhang Tianyu were still fighting. Because this Zhang Tianyu was too much of a F** king dog. Although he could not defeat Wang Mang could not defeat him at all. To put it bluntly, there was really a gap between Wang Mang and Zhang Tianyu. If it wasn't for the Immortal Emperor mask, Wang Mang could not fight with Zhang Tianyu at all. Zhang Tianyu relied on his own strength. But Wang Mang? He relied on the Immortal Emperor mask to be able to fight with Zhang Tianyu for so long. Even Wang Mang had no choice but to admit that Zhang Tianyu was truly amazing. His one turn into 3 clones and the world-exterminating demonic disc were 2 peak-grade, great sacred abilities. It almost made Wang Mang unable to do anything to him. What was even more abnormal was that these 2 divine abilities were definitely below them. Wang Mang even suspected that a 3rd Heaven Saint Emperor expert might not be able to defeat him, because Wang Mang also tried to destroy the world-destroying demonic plate, but he could not do it. This world-destroying demonic plate was like a walking medical insurance. It could replenish Zhang Tianyu's state at any time. It allowed Zhang Tianyu to be in peak condition at all times. It was impossible for Wang Mang to rely on using up his HP to kill him. Therefore, after a long battle, he could not win. Wang Mang was helpless. How could he defeat this guy? Suddenly, an idea flashed in Wang Mang's mind, and he thought of the top-level unlucky card. Thinking of this, Wang Mang's eyes lit up, and he said excitedly in his heart, "System, use the top-level unlucky card. Use target Zhang Tianyu." The next moment, the system's voice sounded, "Ding. Congratulations, host. Successfully used the top-level unlucky card." After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang began to look forward to it, because Wang Mang really could not defeat this guy in a head-on battle, if not for the fact that he had enough great divine abilities. He reckoned that he would have been defeated by this guy, because for the past 2 days during the battle, Wang Mang had basically used all the divine abilities that he could. But he still could not do anything to Zhang Tianyu, except for the wrath of gods and demons. Wang Mang was really helpless against Zhang Tianyu. Therefore, he could only hope that this top-level unlucky card would be useful. It would be best if he could seize an opportunity to defeat Zhang Tianyu. At the same time, at the martial arts arena, all the disciples who were watching, basically they could tell, now the battle was in a stalemate. Wang Mang could not defeat Zhang Tianyu at all. But Zhang Tianyu could not defeat Wang Mang either, especially that top-level divine ability, 1,000 Buddha kills, which could condense thousands of Buddha shadows to attack Zhang Tianyu. This made Zhang Tianyu have very few chances to counterattack and attack Wang Mang. It could be said that there was no solution at all. Similarly, Zhang Tianyu's apocalyptic demonic plate and clone top-level divine abilities were also completely unsolvable, so that Zhang Tianyu's strength was at its peak at all times. At this moment, below the martial arts arena stage, an anxious and panicked shout was heard. "Brother Tianyu, something bad happened. Something happened to Tianmei. Sister Tianmei was taken away by someone in the city of demons." Hearing this, Zhang Tianyu, who was originally relaxed and calm, changed his expression instantly. He suddenly turned his head to look below the stage at a core disciple who was on good terms with him. His face was full of astonishment, and he asked in shock and anger, "What did you just say?" This disciple, whose strength was only at the second heaven of a mortal emperor, suddenly said anxiously, "Brother Zhang, Sister Tianmei was taken away by someone in the city of demons." Chapter 680. Hearing that, Zhang Tianyu's expression changed drastically. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that such a thing would happen during the competition. This also meant that he only had 2 choices now. He could either give up the competition and save his sister. He could either give up on his sister and continue the competition. However, he only thought for a moment. He shouted without hesitation, Zhang Tianyu, admit defeat. I will withdraw from the battle of the Son of Saint. Quickly open the barrier." After saying that, Zhang Tianyu looked at Wang Mang unwillingly and put away the devastator demonic plate. The next moment, the barrier above the stage dispersed automatically. Then, Zhang Tianyu flew away without hesitation. Seeing that, Wang Mang was elated. Damn, this top-notch bad luck card was indeed powerful. It could be said that Zhang Tianyu's admission of defeat was beyond Wang Mang's expectations. However, he also knew that this was very likely related to the top-notch bad luck card. At this point, Wang Mang was dumbfounded. Zhang Tianyu had lost to him. This caused a few elders nearby to frown one after another. They all felt that it was a pity, because anyone with a discerning eye could tell Zhang Tianyu had a high chance of winning. However, such a thing happened in the end, which was beyond everyone's expectations. Among the elders, Only the third elder could not help but laugh. The disciples in the martial arts practice field were in an uproar. They all looked at Wang Mang enviously and whispered, "If they really continue to fight, Zhang Tianyu also has a high chance of becoming the son of Saint." Of course, to be able to fight with Wang Mang for 3 days and 3 nights, can he be weak? It seems that God is on Wang Mang's side. If not for Zhang Tianyu's sister, the position of the son of Saint would really be up for grabs. It seems that the future son of all demons' holy land will be Wang Mang. Obviously, they could also see that Wang Mang could win this battle. There was a huge element of luck in this. In their opinion, if the battle continued, it was hard to say who would win and who would lose. At this time, the elder in charge of the competition also walked up and said with an indifferent expression, "If no one objects after the time it takes for 3 incense sticks to burn, then the position of Holy Son will belong to Wang Mang." After hearing this, Wang Mang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. However, Wang Mang still felt a little uneasy. He lowered his head and looked down at the stage indifferently. They were afraid that another peerless genius would suddenly jump out. Fortunately, what Wang Mang was worried about did not happen. After the time it took for 3 incense sticks to burn, there was still no one who objected. At this moment, the elder nodded to Wang Mang and announced, "From today onwards, Wang Mang is the holy son of my all-devils holy land." After hearing this, Wang Mang was completely relieved, and a smile appeared on his face. F***CK. The position of saint was not easy. So many twists and turns. In order to become the saint, Wang Mang had spent a lot of effort on this. Fortunately, he finally succeeded, just as Wang Mang was feeling excited. The system's voice sounded frowny-faced. Ding. "Congratulations, host. Mission successfully completed." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained 1 billion energy points." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained Immortal King Grade Treasure Chest X1." After hearing the system's voice, Wang Mang was instantly overjoyed. With the reward this time, Lin Fan's eyes lit up. Wang Mang was not far away from his next evolution. After all, he still had 900 million energy points left from his last evolution. It would not be too much to give him 1 billion energy points from an Immortal King Grey Treasure Chest, right? With that thought in mind, Wang Mang was instantly in a good mood. For a moment, Wang Mang looked at the disciples below the stage in high spirits, and his heart was full of pride. He was now considered to have separated himself from the ordinary people. Even in the Sacred Emperor continent, he was considered to be a big shot. In any case, he was the holy son of a super first-rate holy land. His identity and status were awesome. At this moment, a terrifying aura suddenly descended. In the next moment, Wang Mang felt his vision blur. Then, a domineering middle-aged man in a black robe appeared in front of him. He walked toward Wang Mang with an indifferent expression, took out a token, and said with a smile, "This is the Holy Sun token of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons. It belongs to you now." Looking at the domineering middle-aged man in front of him, Wang Mang immediately said respectfully, "Thank you, Holy Master." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Mang received the Holy Sun token. This palm-sized Holy Sun token was completely black. On the back was the word 10,000 demons, and on the front was the word Holy Sun. As for the domineering middle-aged man who gave Wang Mang the Holy Sun token, this guy in front of him was the current Holy Master of the Holy Land of 10,000 demons. Of course, when Wang Mang's strength reached the late stage of the Sacred Emperor realm, this Holy Master would have to retire and give up his position. This was the rule of all Holy Masters. What surprised Wang Mang was that this Holy Master was not hostile to him at all. However, Wang Mang did not let down his guard. After all, he had indeed offended the Holy Master of 10,000 demons. Therefore, he still had to be vigilant. At this moment, the Holy Master laughed and said, "Since you have become the Holy Son of the 10,000 demons' holy land, in the future, you can't lose the reputation of the 10,000 demons' holy land. Wang Mang quickly smiled and nodded. "Don't worry, Holy Master." Hearing this, the Holy Master nodded indifferently and said to the third elder in the distance, "Tell us the scope of the Holy Sun's authority." After saying that, the Holy Master's figure flashed and disappeared. The third elder, Jingtian, walked over with a smile on his face. "Let's go, we'll talk as we walk." After saying that, the third elder put his arm around Wang Mang's shoulder and walked down the stage. On the way, the third elder also told Wang Mang about the authority. The Holy Sun's authority was not great, so he did not need to worry too much. However, when he was outside, he had to protect the reputation of the 10,000 demons' holy land. Of course, the Holy Sun still had some authority. For example, he had the authority to mobilize ordinary elders. This was because there were a total of 8 elders in the 10,000 demons' holy land. He did not have the authority to mobilize the great elder, second elder, and third elder. He did have the authority to mobilize the 4th elder to the 8th elder. However, he had to inform the Holy Master. This was because the 4th elder to the 8th elder were all under the Holy Master's direct command. The great elder, second elder, and third elder were from the 3 main branches of the Holy Land. To put it bluntly, the Holy Master had the great elder, the 4th elder, the 5th elder, the 6th elder, the 7th elder, and the 8th elder. These elders were actually from the bloodthirsty Patriarch's branch. As for the demon god Patriarch's branch, there was only the 3rd elder. Similarly, there was only the 2nd elder who was from the darkness Patriarch's branch. After learning about the branch of the elders in the 10,000 demons' holy land, Wang Mang was speechless. This was because the bloodthirsty Patriarch's branch dominated the Holy Land. This was because the current Holy Master was from the bloodthirsty Patriarch's branch. However, this also caused Wang Mang, the Holy Sun, to be in an awkward position. Strictly speaking, Wang Mang, as the Holy Sun, did not have any authority. Chapter 681. Unless he established his own team after becoming a Sacred Master. Otherwise, Wang Mang could only cultivate and increase his strength to become a Sacred Master as soon as possible. Of course, if he was from the bloodthirsty Patriarch's branch, then Wang Mang would have a lot of power. Even a Sacred Master would cooperate with him. However, the problem was that Wang Mang was not from the bloodthirsty Patriarch's branch. At this moment, the 3rd elder seemed to have noticed Wang Mang's gloominess and immediately comforted him with a smile. "All right, don't worry. If there's really something you can't handle, you can call me. Also, if there's something that even I can't handle, we have other old monsters in our branch." Hearing this, Wang Mang was stunned and looked at the 3rd elder in surprise. The 3rd elder looked proud and explained with a faint smile, "Old monsters. Actually, they're those old monsters in seclusion. Our demon god clan also has 2 old monsters in seclusion. Their strength has reached the peak of the 9th heaven of the Saint Emperor realm. They have even reached the half-step god Emperor realm. If we include the old monsters in the 10,000 demons' holy land who are still in seclusion, there are 5 of them." Hearing this, Wang Mang sucked in a breath of cold air. Good heavens! Was this the foundation of a super holy land? Aside from the 3 god Emperor realm experts on the surface, there were still 5 half-step god Emperor realm old monsters in seclusion. Seeing Wang Mang's stunned expression, the 3rd elder smiled proudly. "Are you scared? Think about it. Otherwise, how could the 10,000 demons' holy land last for so long? When you become a Sacred Master, us elders will also enter seclusion. However, other than the Sacred Master, the rest of the elders, including me, can't see any hope." Speaking of this, Wang Mang saw that the 3rd elder, who was originally very happy, was extremely disappointed. Hearing this, Wang Mang immediately comforted him. "Senior, your talent is unparalleled. Becoming a god Emperor realm expert is definitely not difficult." After hearing Wang Mang's words, Jingtian's 3rd elder rolled his eyes at Wang Mang. "You're thinking too simply. If it's so easy to break through to Divine Lord, Why are there so few of them? If I could really become a god emperor, would this old man be so worried? Let's put it this way. The previous sacred master died when he was trying to break through to the god emperor realm. The remaining 5 old monsters who are in seclusion don't have much of a chance. Who knows when they will die? At this point, the 3rd elder seemed to have thought of something and suddenly said, "By the way, this old man will bring you to receive some resources from the Holy Land. Because each generation of holy sons can receive a considerable amount of resources. 1 billion mortal stones should be able to increase your strength a little." Hearing this, Wang Mang was ecstatic. He did not expect to receive 1 billion celestial stones after becoming the Holy Son. 1 billion immortal stones, as expected of a top-tier Holy Land. This was simply rich and imposing. Thinking of this, Wang Mang could not help but say excitedly, "Senior, quickly bring me there." Seeing how excited Wang Mang was, Jingtian's 3rd elder immediately said disdainfully, "Look at how excited you are. It's as if you have never seen immortal stones before. After you reach the 9th heaven of the Holy Emperor realm, if you want to break through to the God Emperor realm, it will be useless no matter how many immortal stones we give you. Only the Holy Emperor realm will be of some use." After hearing Jingtian's 3rd elder's words, Wang Mang's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly felt that the 6-flavor Emperor pill he had was a pill. If he were to sell it, he would definitely be able to sell it for a sky-high price. It could even be auctioned for a huge amount of immortal stones. This huge amount of immortal stones would definitely be enough for Wang Mang to evolve a few times, or even more. This was because as long as he took this pill, a 9th heaven of the Holy Emperor realm expert could directly break through to the God Emperor realm. Thinking of this, Wang Mang knew that his pill's effects were absolutely heaven-defying. If he were to take it out or leak it out, he would probably be killed. This was because this 6-flavor Emperor pill was enough to make God Emperor realm experts go crazy. Similarly to those 9th heaven of the Holy Emperor realm experts, it could be said to be fatal. Forget it. I'll keep it for myself to digest. After I reach the 9th heaven of the Holy Emperor realm, I'll use it to break through to the God Emperor realm. Half an hour later, Wang Mang successfully received the 1 billion immortal stones that belonged to him. After receiving the immortal stones, Wang Mang could not help but become excited. He immediately returned to the demonic god hall that belonged to him. This was because with these immortal stones, if Wang Mang wanted to break through to the 8th heaven of the immortal emperor realm, it would be a piece of cake. Once he broke through to the 8th heaven of the immortal emperor realm, even if Wang Mang did not use the immortal emperor mask, he would still have the battle strength of a holy emperor. Therefore, Wang Mang could not wait any longer. After returning to the divine devil palace, Wang Mang went to the place where he was in seclusion. After entering the place where he was in seclusion, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, open my personal information." In the next moment, his personal information appeared before his eyes. Wang Mang, disciple of the Quasi-Sage, member of the Sacred Ground, type, Void Python, limit 700 meters, realm, 7th heaven of the Immortal Emperor realm, legendary genius, physique, HP 17,000, energy 17,000, length 670 meters, width 32 meters, weight 30 million tons. Ordinary divine powers, God controlling seal, hand of the void, blade of the void, void escape, horizon step, shape-shifting. Top divine powers, 3 lives supreme Buddha, greater mastery. Hongjun, 3 corpses, none. Wrath of the divine devil, perfection. Space, 5th tier pill recipe X1, one-time top unlucky card X1, forgotten love water X1, fallen saint pill X1, rank 5 abyss summon card. Equipment, top world multicolored stone X1, divine martial sword, immortal emperor mask, 6 flavor emperor pill X1, talent 10 points, immortal king treasure chest, 1 billion immortal stones. Energy, 1, 9 billion/2, 5 billion. After reading his personal information, Wang Mang couldn't help but be overjoyed. This eighth heaven of the immortal emperor realm was more than enough. Thinking of this, Wang Mang suppressed his excitement and said in his heart, "System, exchange 1 billion immortal stones for energy." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully exchanged for energy." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Obtained 1 billion energy." Ding. "The accumulation has met the evolution conditions." Begin evolution? No. After listening to the system's voice, Wang Mang couldn't help but feel a little high-spirited. Then he was in a good mood. Wang Mang decided to open the Immortal King treasure chest as well. Let's see how much energy he could accumulate first. When he thought of this, Wang Mang silently said in his heart, "System, open the Immortal King treasure chest." The next moment, the system's voice sounded frowny-faced ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully opened the Immortal King treasure chest." Ding. "Congratulations, host. Successfully obtained." That you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.